following podcast contains graphic language, strong violence, I said that out of order, scenes being played out of order, and Brian Bosworth. Viewer discretion is advised.
You gotta eat the grub if you want to grow up to be the stud.
Four guys and a movie. Four guys and a movie. Donnie, Brian, Rob, and Joe reviewing movies for the show. Four guys and a movie.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 4am podcast, the podcast about movies, snacks, and all things nerdy. I am your undercover crap, Rob, and I am joined by these bikers.
Tony Stone.
Bricks.
Ice, baby.
I don't know if I want to be Mudfish or Poker. I'm going to go with Magic Schwartz.
How about tinsel teeth?
Magic Schwartz. Yeah, I'm going to change my name to Greasy Wop. So,
And Joe
Totally
Huff
appropriate.
was right there.
Joe Huff.
Joe Huff was there, yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Joe Huff. Well, we watched Stone Cold from the banner year of 1991. Yeah, okay. But you wouldn't know it. You would think we were still dead set in the 80s by this film.
A lot of the people were.
Has anybody seen this movie before?
Yeah.
No.
I've never heard of this movie.
No.
I did not know it existed till we rolled it.
Okay.
Yeah, to be fair, this is one that I did not know when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
I found this, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years ago or something.
Yeah, it's popped up a few times on my Amazon Prime. You should watch.
Yeah.
This is also one that has started to get attention from, the bad movie fans and whatnot.
Sure.
Because it's fun.
Yeah, I myself have never seen it in its entirety, but I've certainly seen clips. And wow. So, tell us a little bit about this film, Tony.
All right, so yeah, Stone Cold from 1991, directed by Craig R. Baxley, who directed Action Jackson, Dark Angel, Bad Day on the Block, mostly a whole lot of direct-to-video and TV movies after this.
Love it.
But he did do The Lost Room, which means nothing to most people, but
That's
does
true.
to me and
That
possibly
means
Joe.
Absolutely nothing.
Explain it later. Anyway, so Arnold Schwarzenegger was originally wanted for this.
No.
But
You don't say.
he wanted $2 million, which they were
They were like, that's more than the budget.
pretty much. So, of course, we got
The
Brian
Boz.
the Boz Bosworth, a Seattle Seahawks player who is known for his rough image and his mullet, his sweet, sweet mullet.
Oh, because he's not an actor by start.
No,
Oh, okay, all right. That's
but
what
He was an athlete with very good branding.
yes, but his career didn't make it past this movie because of a injury during a game.
Oh,
Or
no.
I think it was during a game. But
Well, it turned out he wasn't that good on the field.
yeah. But this movie
Should've stuck with
originally,
acting,
the movie originally had a different actor in Bruce Malmuth. I'm probably saying that wrong, but the director of Hard to Kill had a very different script that was deemed very, very nasty. It was going to get an NC-17 rating, so they had to cut it down. Also, that director apparently did not mix well with the actors.
Oh.
So they fired him and got the other director.
was
other
he
guy.
a Nazi?
I can't speak
No,
to that.
Brick-
The movie has Nazis all
No,
over
Brick.
the place.
So
Well, that's
sometimes movies have pretend things in them.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's
again-
also a very common thing with biker gangs.
And
Yes.
that also might be more of an issue, perhaps, with the writer than the director. But although Lance Hendrickson apparently
it's
improvised
also-
all his own lines.
Okay. It's also a good way when you're not creative to make a bad guy.
Yeah, make bad guys bad. Make them have some
Nazis.
Nazi sympathy.
Brian Bosworth brought all of his clothes and his motorcycle were actually his.
Oh, so that was genuinely his banana hammock.
Oh yeah, and apparently his skunk shoulder jacket.
Oh,
I
yeah,
guess.
yeah. Okay.
And the
It's an original boss.
and the duster in the beginning.
I guess.
Oh,
The
Wow.
the perv van that he hauled the bike on.
You know what, John? If he's on hard times, you might be able.
I might be able to
snatch
get that
up.
coat.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
The official Boz coat.
William Forsythe said the original script was the worst he had ever read, and it had his character only giving like Bible quotes. The song in the beginning of this movie was at that time unknown Sheryl Crow. So that's something.
There was a song at the
Yeah,
beginning. of this
when he was making the breakfast.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a song playing. You didn't pay attention. It's fine.
I was paying attention to what was going in the breakfast. I was
fair.
not paying attention.
Yeah, as you now know, we're keeping the fuck now I can't think. Evil Dead director
Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi connection alive because Gabrielle from Xena is in this movie. The young Renee O'Connor, right?
Yeah.
Plays the Tinsel Teeth as she's credited in this movie. The girl being held hostage. There is apparently an unofficial sequel called Back in Business from 1997.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's questionable, but it is Brian Bosworth, and he is playing a character named Joe. That much connects the two, at least.
Oh, so it's kind of like the Clint Eastwood Man with No Name.
Sort of, yeah. And then Alamo Drafthouse did a screening of this in 2014, which Brian Bosworth spoke at.
I totally heard Elmo Drafthouse.
Yeah, that's what
and
I
I'm
thought you
sticking
said,
with
too.
that. I would believe that
That's
that is
what
the
I
correct
heard
thing.
too.
Yeah, he was
But-
at the Elmo Drafthouse
Sure.
with this film.
But guys, the important thing there
watch a movie.
is afterwards his son got up and went to his father and said, "Dad, you really didn't save anyone. Everyone died." It's 100% accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't really the hero. He was just the survivor.
He was just there.
He was just there, yeah. He literally
He
was
made it
just
to
a
the end.
He
participant.
made some things worse.
He got a participation trophy.
He made everything worse, arguably. But I want to guess how much money this movie had.
Ooh, I'm gonna say there was a helicopter.
Anyone can jump in, by the way. You don't need to wait for Rob.
Helicopter, state building, lots of explosions.
16.
Lots of bullets.
16 million.
20.
I don't know if Arnold was too much
I
and
will.
he wanted two.
I'll give you a hint. 20 million he wanted.
Oh, 20.
And Rob was
wow,
not
that's different.
wrong with
Oh,
his
I heard
quote.
2.
Yeah, he said two.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
I'm sorry,
heard
20
two.
million.
Okay, all right.
But you were not
That's a
wrong
lot,
with
right?
your remark about that.
Okay, so I'm sticking with 16 then.
Yeah, that changes the game then.
You know what? I'm going back to my original at 14. That was what I originally thought. 14 million.
Yeah,
I'm sticking with 20.
I'm in at 15, I think.
$1.
Shouldn't have done it, Rob. It was 17 million.
Damn!
Well done, John. Want to guess how much it made?
$1.
30 million.
10 million.
12 million.
John gets it again.
Wait, how much?
It,
$1.
he said $1, but it was $9 million.
I am in sync with this movie.
Joe just squeaked past it.
Damn.
Jeez.
So yeah,
Might as well have had Rachel Zegler in that shit.
What if instead of Brian Bosworth, we had
Rachel Zegler?
was it oh, never mind. His name's Barry. I was gonna say Brian Boswick. But
Barry Bostwick.
yeah.
Boswick or whatever. What if we just had Paddington Bear instead? That'd have been a fun adventure. So,
So besides Brian Bosworth, we got Lance Henriksen
yep.
and like no one else. The chick from Xena was in it for a little while.
But like she's unrecognizable.
Tinsel teeth, yeah.
She's just a girl with horrible dental headgear.
Yeah.
William
held
Forsythe as well, who is a returning person.
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
true. William Forsythe has been in this on the podcast before. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, he was Flat Top in Dick Tracy.
Yeah.
One. But and also I guarantee several more because almost like that biker dude was in. Did we do Terminator 2 yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, he was in that.
That
sorry,
biker dude, you need to be a little more specific.
Yeah, what was it? Mud puddle or some shit?
Mudfish.
Mudfish, I believe. And then like there were, a bunch of other background people
Yeah,
who are
but-
like
Yeah.
stunt guys or background
Yeah, I know I've seen
thug
that.
actors and tons
The
of
ginger that got his face blown up. I've seen him in things before too.
I'm sure.
I would point out there was a biker named Poker who was played by a man named Magic Schwartz.
Yep.
Magic Schwartz, yes indeed.
Now,
Poker with your Magic Schwartz.
this film is all about
Fam.
the cops versus the bikers versus the Italians. And, it really spoke to me. So I said, what other adversarial things could we get going here? So it turns out Wonder Bread.
Speaking of adversaries,
Yeah, speaking of adversaries, Wonder Bread is going after Hostess's bag.
Did I miss? Are we at war with Wonder Bread?
No, Hostess's.
Oh, I see.
Hostesses, and so they have made their own line of snacky cakes and things like that. And while every part of me is just assuming they're going to taste exactly the same, I figured we would try them out. So,
Sure.
I have Wonder cream-filled chocolate cupcakes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're not even trying to be different.
Yeah.
We have Wonder honey buns.
Okay.
Pretty basic. All right.
And we have Wonder cream-filled confetti cakes.
And they're all made in the same factory in Mexico.
Probably.
As
Probably.
the
Oh,
other.
yeah, probably. Just, yeah.
yeah.
There's
I
probably
mean,
no difference, but...
honestly,
Little
Rob,
sprinkles.
I wish you kind of had just snuck him in diabetes and then revealed to
Oh,
us
and been
later,
like, "Oh,
you've been eating Wonder this whole time.
Surprise, suckers. It's Wonder Bread. So yeah, I'm not going to do this in any particular order. I'm just going to, open this up.
Yeah. These
Grab
are
it.
flagrant copies.
And they're individually wrapped, which is great. So, just kind of get them all turned out, as the kids say.
With the hippin' and the hoppin'.
Yeah, so
Oh, good. The honey buns are small. So.
Well, yeah,
I prefer a small honey bun. Yes, that's true.
I don't know if I'm going to eat everything on my plate here.
Well, I wasn't expecting everybody to eat everything, but enough. Just take a bite and see if it's settles up.
I can start by telling you right now my confetti cake
Yep.
has
Calamity!
the shell on it has cracked quite a bit,
Oh,
which is not.
mine's all
And
boofing.
I'm missing a cupcake.
Mine's boofing out the bottom. Oh,
I'm missing something.
Yeah, I never got
Rick
it.
also needs a cupcake. Somehow they.
I got it now.
Thank you.
I'll take one
Oh.
of them.
I didn't realize yours.
All right. So we all have three things.
Yes.
And they're all different things.
All right, which
Oh,
one are we
yes.
doing first?
I feel like the chocolate cupcakes like the most obvious
Yep, let's do it.
counterpart, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start with that one.
It does have some sprinkles on top
It smells exactly the same.
in the Wonder Bread colors.
It's even effectively wrapped the same. It's got the plastic with that little waxed paper thing underneath it.
Feels moister.
It does. It tastes moister. At least in mine, there appears to be more cream.
It's just happy to see you, Rob.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess. But it's fine.
That's I would say 5% better.
Yeah.
Like it's closer to an actual baked good.
I almost want
Yeah.
to say that
agree.
the cake part reminds me more of a Twinkie
Okay.
in both texture and
The
flavor.
sponginess, yeah.
Yeah. I do feel it reminds me of Wonder Bread, which is unsurprising considering.
Yeah, I think I prefer it over the Hostess cupcakes a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
It tastes a little more like
It still tastes processed.
It
but
does.
not as processed.
slightly
yeah.
less
But-
artificial. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not as dry.
Yep.
I don't know which one to go for next. What do you guys think?
The confetti cake.
Confetti
Yeah.
cake. Now this one I don't know that this one really has a counterpart so much. I mean, I guess it's just kind of another cupcake
Yeah.
in a slightly different shape.
Yes.
Well, it's the same shape. It's just turned upside down.
This is true. You're not wrong there.
Yeah. Looking at it upside down, it looks like a Twinkie that they just sprayed birthday cake
Kind of
frosting
what I
on.
was thinking
Yeah.
it was, but it is,
Cupcake shaped Twinkie.
yeah, perhaps legally distinct enough from a Twinkie.
That frosting is like armor.
Yeah, the shell is definitely harder than I was anticipating.
Mine isn't because it's flaking off everywhere.
That's underwhelming.
It is underwhelming. It's a little too sweet, but I guess it's kind of part of the like white chocolate sort of vanilla-iness.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah,
It
I don't know.
tastes like
After the other cupcake, it's way less sweet to me.
Really?
yeah, it tastes like a lot of sugar, but not sweet. Like,
Okay.
it just tastes kind of gross.
Maybe that's right. Maybe it's more just like sugars. What I was looking for.
And now tasting it, this is more, I would say, a counterpart to a zebra dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the ratio's all wrong.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, it's not as
yeah.
good.
Yeah, you really need that cream with the zebra dick.
Yeah.
to
So
take
now
it
we
down.
know why Hostess never made one of those.
Fair. And then the honey bun, which I'm sure will be fine.
Adequate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be a honey bun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a honey bun.
Nice. Soft, cinnamony. I'd go for one of these. I might actually finish this one over the course of the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I would say this one's like the same as a Hostess honey bun.
Yeah, I really couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah. The upside down, confetti cupcake is a letdown.
Yeah, it's
And then-
disappointing. I was kind of hoping that would be like their big like this is something we do that's different.
Yeah, if it was a Twinkie covered in frosting on the outside, that would have been a fucking knock out of the park.
Yeah.
And then the the chocolate cupcake is a straight up improvement on those.
Yeah.
So like one good, one equal, one bad.
Yeah.
Which really isn't that bad of a.
It's not. So they came here to party, but they didn't come like swinging for the fences
Yeah.
necessarily. It's just kind of like
Yeah, but even, I will say, maybe I'm forever tainted now with this, but like the confetti cake is not great, but it's not those fucking uranium cakes, whatever that
the
uranium shit
the
was.
cakes
The Cakesters?
was that what
No,
they
it wasn't
did?
Cakesters,
No,
it was-
those the Oreo ones. Cake bites.
Yeah, yeah. They were like minion colored.
Yeah.
And
Oh, those were awful.
that it was like memory foam. Like you chewed it and then it just regenerated to what it was before you
just
bit into
They
it.
just pour a chemical into a mold and then ship it out. That's pretty much it. Like, yeah. So these, like, I'm hoping if Wonder Bread wants to continue on with this, I hope they'll come out with something unique and like just really good.
And if they're looking for a sponsor,
Yep. Yeah. There you go.
Well, we're looking for a sponsor. We're looking
Yeah.
to sponsor someone.
Yeah.
Hostess, you had years to get on this bandwagon.
Yeah. So overall, fair job, Wonder Bread. Keep at it, guys. You'll get there. So yeah, that's all. Anybody have any closing remarks for Wonder Bread? Since obviously they're the CEO of the company.
Make a Twinkie, but with frosting on the outside too.
Oh shit.
I will. That's good. I will also just throw in as there was talk of Fat Chat Court. Is that strictly for the movie?
Well, that's what I wanted to bring it up for.
Okay.
Do you have something else?
We'll wait for that to come up then.
Well,
It comes up pretty quick.
pretty quick, yeah. Pretty much, the movie begins with a Fat Chat foul.
Okay, let's get right in.
So, like, there's some bad guy, Razor Ramon looking fuck, pops up and shotguns a camera. And then one of his buddies just takes an MP5 full auto to a rack of Ritz crackers right to the end cap.
Yeah.
All right, Ritz crackers. I mean, they're not like club. They're not like top tier cracker, but they're pretty
There's
good.
still a good delivery mechanism
Yeah.
for cheese.
I mean, I would maybe argue a little bit. I might have to give a little bit of pushback on that. Ritz may be the most versatile
Fair, yeah.
of the cracker. I mean, consider how many recipes are going to use those Ritz
They're
crackers.
a good standard.
Ritz is a damn good cracker,
Like
but
broccoli cheddar.
Do they
casserole?
deserve?
no one deserved that.
Do they deserve
Well,
to die
Take
by
a shot.
firing
No,
squad?
definitely not.
None of those
No.
crackers
No.
deserved.
That's cold-blooded murder right here. That's just straight up wasting food.
Especially when we talk about a few minutes
Wasting
in,
food and bullets.
Yeah.
when we see Batman cereal, Ghostbusters cereal still on the shelves.
Yeah.
And these
Probably
people
Gremlin.
come in and disrespect this shit. I wanted to kill them personally.
Yeah. No, straight up I'm mad. I'm just like first off, as a retail worker, those end caps, not the easiest thing in the
No,
world
they
to build
suck.
or maintain. And, customers come in and gun them down.
Right.
Fucking, it's terrible.
I got bad news for you, Joe.
Yeah.
This whole movie is just about this guy burning this entire city to the ground, basically.
So, one of the goons is like, I love it, after he murders a bunch of Ritz crackers and other assorted
Yeah. Just having fun
dairy
firing off his gun.
His
food
threshold for a
products.
good time is really low.
And
Yeah.
So we see that they're in a convenience store.
Yep. And then you see the Boots walk in, and it does the pan up, and it's like, it's that guy in the 90s who played Vampire the Masquerade and wants to tell you about his character. It's that guy's character. And you're like, God damn it.
Except he's blonde.
Great description.
Joe, he's sitting right
I
next
know,
to
right?
you.
He's at the table.
Well, I wasn't implying that, but,
There may be more than one at the
Yes.
table.
He's wearing my coat.
he is wearing your coat. But you're, to be fair though, John, you did not patent that. Like,
No,
that's-
and he is wearing it before I.
Correct.
I-
way,
I-
way before.
I played in a LARP that met with a lot of other LARPs in the New England area. A lot of people came up with this character.
And that's why we laugh at those people.
Yep. Some of them
Right,
even had
John?
the mullet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, John, I don't think you ever rocked a mullet though, did you?
No, it was
Yeah.
always long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like no.
Luxurious.
Yeah.
And
Each-
tied
sometimes
back
I-
for cleanliness.
Sometimes I tied a ninja star into it.
Yep. That was when he was sucking dick.
Well, you don't want to
You gotta
get
give
it
him
away.
something to hold on to.
So
It's a handlebar.
Yeah, but I kept cutting my hand.
you see this
That's
guy.
why I did
It
it.
was fucking ninja star.
Rub it in my hair.
So you see this guy, and you're just like, oh no.
It's blood.
And I was like, oh yes.
So now,
He's in case you didn't pick it up, he's wearing a full-length black leather duster, but not only is it leather, but it's been upgraded to snake print
Yep.
leather.
I do thank you for specifying, since there's a chance not all our listeners know what John's coat is.
Yes, I for the late portion of the 90s and most of 2000 through 2010, probably, wore a full-length black leather duster year-round.
so take Kiefer Sutherland from the Lost Boys, roid him up about 50%, and then take everything that's cool off of him, and that's this character.
Yep.
It's basically if you take the sexy sax man
Yeah.
from
Yes.
Lost
Combine
Boys.
Yes.
it with
Yeah.
Kiefer Sutherland from the Lost Boys.
I was just thinking, if Kiefer Sutherland from the Lost Boys held up the sword and said, "I have the power to become,"
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's this.
So,
Off to a great start.
Yeah.
so the boss
Why
is,
didn't he play He-Man?
Kiefer Sutherland or this guy?
Brian Bosworth. Or wait, when was He-Man?
He-Man was in the 80s. It was like 86 or 87,
Right.
something
Okay.
like that.
Okay. Never mind.
So now the gang leader has taken Gabrielle from Xena hostage, and he tells one of his goons to go check it out. Someone's doing something in one of the aisles. And turns out the boss is over here. He's like, well, they're robbing the place, so I'm just going to eat some cookies right out of the fucking baked goods rack.
He's just doing it all nonchalantly.
First off, who robs a supermarket? Like, that's the worst thing to rob. And then even if you were going to, like, you would go in the back where the safe would be.
Joe, those guys clearly weren't thinking, like, they were hopped up on something.
They had a whole barrel of crank in their system.
Yeah.
P2P, man.
P2P.
Peer-to-peer?
Peer-to-peer.
I was about to
They're
say.
making a peer-to-peer connection over there.
All right, so
Well, it's
They
it's
invented
also
the internet.
this movie is
Made
kind
out
of
of
like
tubes.
multiple movies that were hot around the time, just kind of crammed together. 'Cause I believe this is almost directly a scene from Cobra. I think it is with Stallone, where
Yeah.
he's the same that like he goes into a grocery store and just nonchalantly buying his stuff while people are robbing it, so that when they walk over to him and interact, he can kick their ass.
yeah, so Goon 1 walks up to him. He takes a shotgun and just points it in Boz's face and is like, could you bludgeon me with this? And Boz is like, yeah, no problem, man. I got you.
See, too much P2P leads to some B&E and then PVE and then PvP.
And BDSM.
And then BDSM.
So then the gang leader like tells the guy that just gunned down all the Ritz crackers, like, yo, go over there and get beaten up.
Yeah.
The guy's like, man, I'm going to get beaten up if I go over there. He's like, I know. I'm pointing this gun at you. Go do it. So he comes over. He's like, Boz, can you beat me up? He's like, yeah, I can beat you up. So now the gang leader,
sir. May I
instead
have
of
another?
leaving with the hostage, he's like, I'm going to just go up aisles.
Yeah.
So the Boz is like,
He's doing his grocery shopping.
yeah, you know, gang leaders hepped up on crank hate peas. Throws a can of peas. The gang
That was
leader's
spinach.
like, or spinach.
yeah.
We
yeah.
thought he was like straight up gonna Popeye.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought
The
that
gang leader's like, spinach! Just wastes the can, then throws the woman down and runs for it. Like he just, morale collapses after he killed the spinach.
We seem to only have the one shot, so
Yeah.
it's just like, well, fuck it, I gotta leave.
He's like, I didn't sign up for this. But earlier
he got too
bottle
close to vegetables. It was over.
a bottle of corn syrup was broken on the ground. And so he fucking slips and gets launched into a Coke end cap. There's your product placement. And so now you see like the Boz is walking out of there because he doesn't, you know, after people are beaten up, he doesn't stick around for any like
He doesn't have to pay for the stuff. that
Yeah.
he's taking.
No.
witness interrogation or anything, crime scene containment. And like a cop comes in, he's like, you're on suspension. You're not supposed to do that. We're so mad.
Do what?
Yeah,
I was
he's like, I
shopping,
was just
man.
fucking shopping. Like,
because
trying to shoplift here. These guys are pointing guns at me.
no, we skipped the unforeseen previous movie where, you know, they had to take his gun and badge because he's a loose cannon because he's so badass.
No, just that mullet does not conform with police hairstyles. That's
Or
why
that.
he's on suspension till the union rep can get him a hearing. So now what you call it? We just cut to the title card and a biker gang. They're at a biker rally. They're doing biker things like dragging each other on motorcycles, brawling, putting cans on their head and shooting 6-shooters at each other. And, you know, just there's Confederate flags, there's Nazi paraphernalia. You're just like, I don't like anybody here. Mm-hmm. And now one of the gang members, he can't shoot the can off the other guy. So the guy's like, I'll put it on my head. And then he's able to shoot it. So then the guy's like, all right, I'll put it on my head. Don't shoot me. He's like, don't worry. I'm just going to take this machine pistol and spray gunfire all in your area.
That was a great gun.
And then just,
He is so dead.
Yeah.
the guy jumps to the ground. A random Volkswagen is just like shot up and explodes. And you're like, oh, okay, this is great. Whoa.
But it let you know in advance that cars explode when they get shot. So.
Yeah.
Everything explodes.
Yeah, if it's a vehicle of transportation and it gets shot, it goes kablooey.
If a character is riding on it, it will explode.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yep.
As though it's made out of TNT.
Correct.
And now we cut to a redheaded man like he's a priest administering a wedding, and he's on the screen just long enough for you to go, is that William Dafoe? And then a bald man shoots him with a double-barreled shotgun out a window.
Right.
And then that scene's over, and now
and you're like, what the hell just happened?
now
Where's
he's
William
like,
Dafoe?
that guy's being sentenced for possibly murdering William Dafoe.
Was it a different movie? I don't know what's happening now.
He's sentenced to like 45 years in jail. Everyone's like, oh, that sucks. He should die. And then like the judge that sentenced him, he's like, I'm going to go start my boat. Kaboomers.
Yeah, because now he's in a boat.
Yeah.
They
And
don't. This is like
You put the bomb in the outboard motor. Like,
this all happens within like less than a minute. Like,
you know, this can be done well. Like Bill Duke just randomly killing people at the beginning of Commando is pretty awesome.
yeah.
But Commando, this is not.
Well, that's
This is Command Don't.
Yeah.
it's weird because basically the whole plot hinges on this guy and this conviction.
Yep.
But like we have no idea who he is. He
Yeah.
literally doesn't say a single thing the entire movie, and he ultimately does.
I mean, I
anyway.
got it. He's a biker dude.
Yeah.
For
Oh, yeah,
some
no, like-
reason, he shotgunned
Right.
That's the problem.
That
For
priest,
some
yeah.
reason,
Yeah, we
some
don't know
reason.
why he shotgunned
We don't know
that
who that
priest.
is, where they are.
We
why
find
it
out later
happened.
he killed 2 other religious figures.
Yeah.
I don't. I also don't. He's, I guess, part of the biker gang.
Yep.
But I don't know to what capacity because he's never involved
Yeah.
with them.
It feels like they started with the runtime and just like kept pouring movie into it until it was full, and then we're like, okay, we're done.
And did not check to see that the scenes were in order.
Right? They didn't care
Well-
what part of the movie. They just had a bunch of different,
But that was the other thing, because, like I said, with the, we had an original director, and then we had an NC-17 rating. So, like, through all that, this was a major chop job. Apparently, the original thing had Brian Bosworth's character had like a family with like a wife and kids and everything. So, like, yeah,
Wait, what?
yeah, not in the movie, not in this
Bosworth's supposed to?
movie. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So whatever changes
Instead, he has
happened.
a lovely pet.
Yeah.
Well, and that naked girl, but
Oh yeah. No, there was
But yeah, that's so whatever changes
him grieve, I
happened,
guess.
they just
That's his
were
other
like
lovely pet.
huge parts of whatever were just thrown out the window.
I don't know.
So what? Who knows whatever
I-
movie was involved?
I
at
got the
one point.
gist of it.
Well, I
No,
got
we
the
got the
gist,
gist.
but
I
it's
do.
just jarring.
Can I just say that, like, the gall of this biker gang, though, because like this man murdered a priest in the middle of a wedding, like, so
No,
there's got to be
it was a baptism.
a baptism, but
Even
either,
worse.
Either
Like,
way,
they're handing off a baby.
there's
Right when you fire
probably a lot of witnesses
Yeah,
just
yeah.
flagrantly walked in and shot the dude.
No, probably
And then-
about it.
yeah.
We see him step between the
Yeah.
parents to shoot this priest.
And then, a jury convicts him. It's not like the judge was like, "You're guilty."
right, the
And they're
judge
like,
didn't do it. Like,
We'll show that judge, I guess, for passing a sentence for the thing he obviously did.
yeah,
They're not rational.
No, they are not.
no one.
They are rabid.
And then,
Otherwise, they wouldn't have shown up in court
yeah,
for the sentencing because
Sure.
they probably all got warrants out on them.
yep. So now we cut to a Sheryl Crow song and Brian Bosworth, who doesn't have a shirt on, and then we're going to find out he has a lot less on in a minute. All right, but I wrote down the ingredients for Fat Chat Foul number 2. Now, mind you, we're like, 5-6 minutes into the movie.
well, okay, all right,
We're-
yeah, go on.
We're all the Fat Chat Fouls.
I don't know that
movie's
I don't
going
know
for
that
a
I'm
red
on board
card.
for this, Joe. But
Well, let's see. These are the ingredients.
Talk your
The
shit.
base is orange juice.
Yep.
This is going in a blender. 2 Snickers bars.
Yep,
Yep.
It looks like he put a wrapper in,
it did look like.
but
he put a wrapper in.
when you see it up,
was
yeah,
on the
later
side,
he did
Yeah.
not. 2 eggs and then the shells. He broke them open,
Yeah, I was like,
but
why
then
the
dropped
fuck?
the shell in.
yeah, well,
Potato chips of some sort.
Yep.
right.
Grind that up.
I think there was
in
a banana too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a banana.
banana,
Okay.
Yep, yep.
Grind that up in a blender. Now,
No
if you
alcohol,
want to eat that,
which is what you'd expect.
yeah, if you want to eat that, that's fine. You do
And
you.
Did you say hot sauce?
Oh,
yeah,
and hot
Tabasco.
sauce.
Yeah,
and hot
some
sauce.
Tabasco sauce or something.
All right.
Yeah,
You want to
didn't
eat
have
that?
the whiskey, but you got the hot sauce.
You do you. Fat chat champion.
Right.
You only live once. Fucking eggshell it up. But he feeds this to his goddamn, what was it, a Malaysian water monitor?
Yes.
Yeah.
He has
Like, that's what you do.
a 7-foot lizard.
Almost none of that this thing can eat.
Yeah.
What, now, is that the actual noises that lizard
No.
would make? Because it's
Those were-
making, like,
that's a
doggy
pig.
noises.
Those
or-
were
that's-
pig noises.
yeah.
Yeah, that's not even a dog. That's a pig.
No, the monitors, they would just make kind of raspy,
Oh,
Yeah.
hissing,
Well,
puffing noises.
I'll retract that a little. To be fair, I have never fed something like this to
Yeah.
a monitor lizard. That might make it make these sounds.
Yeah, that might just be this stomach making that
Yes.
noise.
No.
That's it slowly
Luckily,
dying.
they didn't make the lizard actually eat this damn
Yeah.
thing.
Oh, it would.
Oh, I'm
The-
sure it would.
The
but
raw egg in it alone,
Yeah.
it would love to eat that.
I'm hoping the actual animal handler on set was like, guys, no.
Yeah, God, I hope so.
I mean, that I know of, there's nothing that's actually bad for that lizard aside from
The chocolate?
I don't think as far as I know, reptiles don't care about chocolate.
Okay.
It might not be poisonous like dogs, but they certainly shouldn't be eating it.
Yeah, it,
I don't think there's
And
anything that
fried
would hurt,
potato chips
that would hurt them. The salt, with enough potato chips in it,
yeah.
the salt levels might be not so good.
Probably not even going to taste the hot sauce. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
one I don't
think
know.
they taste it like we
And
do.
it's a carnivore, so like I don't think like
Yeah,
any
because
of
like
that.
they don't even chew, right? They just rip off chunks and swallow whole, right?
Yeah.
So,
it would just lap that shit up.
yeah. So where's the foul here, Joe?
I mean,
I think the foul is going to be the trail of
Yeah.
diarrhea.
I
that leads
guarantee
into-
you that lizard would eat it and like it.
yep.
Huh.
All right, but that's the only thing we ever see him feed this lizard. And I
Well,
don't think
true.
that would sustain the lizard.
No, but
we
we
don't-
also don't see him at home.
Yeah, we
for
don't see
any other
anybody
time
else
during the
eat
movie.
I have
anything.
not seen any evidence that this man knows how to take care of a lizard.
No.
Well, that's
Well,
fair, but that's
in
not.
fairness, in 1991, a lot of people didn't
Yeah.
know
Actually.
how to take care of.
Yeah,
their
Steve
pets.
Irwin wasn't really teaching everybody,
Alternative theory.
although he was kind of at this point, right?
Maybe he's practicing to get another coat.
Ooh, he's
Oh,
fattening that.
you
Yeah,
know
that,
what?
back then
You know
was
what?
pretty fat.
Yeah.
It's a
That's why he
special
says
concoction.
You gotta
Yeah.
eat that grub if you
got to
want to
become
grow
the
up
stud.
to be a stud.
You know
All
what's
right.
even more frightening than that?
Studded leather jacket.
I'm now putting the pieces together and imagining at one point in the script that was his child.
Oh yeah, feeds his
Okay.
wife and child that.
Couple questions.
Puts it on the floor in a bowl.
John, how big did these
The
monitors?
dad in Neverending Story did that to his kid.
True.
Made him into a coat? What?
No, made him drink raw eggs.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
How big is that monitor actually going to get if it hasn't finished growing
That
up to be a
that
stud?
was an adult lizard.
Okay.
They can get around 7 to 8 feet if it's a extremely large male.
So he'd need like what, 3, maybe 4 of those for a coat
Well, yeah,
at the largest size.
yeah. You're not making a coat
Yeah.
all out of just one lizard.
So it's been an ongoing project.
Yeah.
You know. All right, so there you
I
go.
don't
This
know.
man is
He
greasing
hugged-
up lizards. To
He
fucking
hugged that
kill them.
lizard. He's
did.
not
He
making
was-
a coat.
He was
out of
happy
it.
with that lizard.
Either way,
He's got a
That-
coat. He loves the lizard.
Yeah.
At
So-
one point, the lizard will be used to repair his coat after his passing.
So
But you know,
Did
At
anybody
this-
find out if that's his actual pet or not? Like Brian Bosworth?
I don't.
yeah.
He's very cozy with it.
Yeah, I did not find anything about that. But
If it
since it
wasn't-
mentioned he's wearing his own clothes and it's his own motorcycle, I think they would have brought that up.
yeah, that lizard just doesn't give a shit anyway.
Yeah, I guess.
No, water monitors are known for being actually very, when they're properly acclimated to people, they can be actually affectionate towards
Okay.
their humans.
All right, cool.
All right.
Actually, a lot of large lizards
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
they're like scaly cats. They recognize their people and will give them affection.
Nice.
So the FBI shows up and they're like, "I heard, you're
Your
abusing
monitor.
animals in here. Why don't you come talk with us?" And they go to a parking garage and
Well, before that,
what?
you find out how little he's wearing.
Well, actually, that's a separate
the
scene.
next scene.
Oh, it's a separate scene?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He did put on some clothes to go to the parking garage to meet.
Dude, actually, technically, the parking garage was before this, but that's fine.
Okay.
Because this is when his quote unquote partner shows up and just brings him coffee or
no-
some kind of
No,
breakfast.
no.
No,
That's
there is
after.
there's a gap.
There's
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yep.
We get introduced to the partner and
Yeah.
the FBI boss.
Partner's
now.
name is
Yeah.
Lance, and I forget Pendleton. I think is the FBI guy.
Yeah,
The,
because they
the
pick him
boss.
up in a car to bring him to a parking garage so that he can get into another car.
Yes.
and they're like,
Standard. Yeah.
check it out.
FBI fair.
Lance
guess.
Hendrickson is
movie silly.
he's doing some sort of illegal operation in the South. What are we doing? We're hunting men this time? No, we're just biker ganging it up. We want somebody to infiltrate them. You have a mullet.
Yeah.
You know the most about bike gangs in Alabama, so just get in
Well,
there.
they mentioned that he had made the most number of biker arrests.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the best damn cop in Arkansas.
Which makes
but-
you think all the biker gangs would know him
Yeah.
from
Yep.
that, but whatever.
He's
well,
like,
maybe not outside of Arkansas.
they're like, you know
Alabama.
what? We'll get rid of
Alabama,
your
whatever.
suspension if
Sorry.
you do it. He's like, it's a 3-week suspension, dude. I'll just wait
wait
it
it
out.
out.
And they're like, all right, well, it's a 6-month suspension now. What do you think of that?
Without pay.
Without pay.
Yeah. He's like, shit,
That's extortion.
I'm at the point now where I have to steal cookies from the supermarket. Where am I going to be in 6 months?
How am I gonna get my bananas and Snickers now?
So,
Child services are gonna come and take my lizard away.
As they should.
so all right, he agrees to it, and now we cut to the next day. It's like 6 a.m. We see a shirtless Brian Bosworth answer the door, and it's his partner Lance, and we see he's just wearing women's underwear.
Yeah, no. I was sold on this movie at this,
I mean,
prior to this with the lizard. When the lizard showed up, I was like, I'm in.
Yep.
This movie, I already love it.
Boots,
I'm
coat,
here now.
guns.
But it lost
lizard.
some points for me right here.
Yeah.
When we get him answering the door in his banana hammock.
Yeah.
It's a budgie smuggler.
So this isn't what you were at home, John?
It's not what I answered the door in.
Yeah,
This
his
is
is made
different.
of leather.
A Speedo, i.e. a banana hammock or a budgie smuggler, has like there's fabric connecting the butt to the crotch.
Yeah, this was
just elastic. It was not quite thong level, but it was beyond bikini. It's you can
for
wear
a-
whatever you
It's
want.
for a certain kind
know,
of man.
Whatever you want to do, you do what you want to do. It's
It's
he's a
unacceptable.
bodybuilder.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna show this shit off.
Yeah.
Yeah. But because we find out almost immediately that there's a naked woman in his bed, I'm pretty sure he just took her panties and put them on and answered.
I mean,
he just woke up and he just
what
grabbed them
what
and
came to hand.
Possible, sure.
Yeah.
The only reason I doubt that is because everything about this man and his wardrobe tells me this is the underwear he would definitely wear.
No, he just wears an alligator skin sheath. With the head still on it.
That is one of the weird things about this movie is like it reeks of being what do you call that?
No, you had it at the first part. It reeks.
Yes. My brain is garbage. No, like one of those movies where I wrote it, I directed it, and I'm starring in it as the coolest person that ever lived, like Neil Breen movies and stuff. I can't think of the word now, but like it.
Oh, a passion project or like a
Vanity Fair.
Vanity Fair,
That's
yep.
the one.
Oh,
It's a vanity
So it
project.
reeks of that, but clearly he did not write it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was
Well,
written for
although
Arnold
maybe-
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, although maybe he rewrote it because everything else, but yeah, he's
would
just
you
like,
still have
I'm
been
the
on
coolest
board
guy
if
ever.
it was Arnold Schwarzenegger in that, John?
I've seen Arnold in less.
I mean, I've seen Arnold in that much, but it would still be uncalled for.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he's wearing something like that in that clip where he's talking about equating weightlifting to coming.
Yes.
And he keeps
Oh,
saying the
boy.
word coming over and over
Yeah.
again in his thick Austrian accent.
I have not
It's like the
seen
most
this.
awkward Arnold Schwarzenegger thing.
You never
yeah.
seen Pumping Iron?
Again, that is kind of like the I am a weightlifter. This is what
Yeah.
I'm wearing. With that doesn't
If
cover
Arnold-
like anything.
If Arnold's not swinging a sword or firing a
Yep.
shotgun.
Oh, he's swinging a sword.
Yeah, he's sort of
I don't need to see it.
punching the camel, as they say.
One other funny thing that this reminded me of, I was watching an interview with Amelia Clark, and she was talking about when she first started in Game of Thrones. One of her first nude scenes when Jason Momoa as Khal Drogo's raping her on the set.
She was like, "It's great."
He's naked except for a modesty sock, which was like a Hello Kitty or something. He did to try to make her feel more comfortable, but it was something silly like Hello Kitty or something dumb like
Something
that.
to break the realism
Yeah.
of the scene. Yeah. Good.
But anyway, so yeah, he stole his girlfriend's panties and wore them to answer the door.
Sure.
And then he threw. He's like, I could put this robe on, but I'm gonna throw it over my lizard instead. And now the guy's like, he's like, it's 6 a.m. What are you doing here? It's not pants o'clock yet. The guy's like, I got breakfast. I'm an annoying partner. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, the guy immediately presents himself as an incompetent buffoon.
Yep. And then he's like, oh, there's a hot chick in my bedroom. Check her out.
Yep.
And then
Back on board, movie.
yeah. And then I'm like, wow, this movie's being pretty like modest about showing this woman off. Like, they didn't show any like titties or any nipples. They showed off like everything else of her.
She's the
And
classy
I'm like,
lady.
yeah, that was pretty carefully filmed. The next scene is just a tit for tat titty bar.
yep.
And it's just like 6 pairs of tits right across the screen, like immediately. I'm like, why did we bother with?
Just wanted to whet your appetite.
Yeah.
It was in the contract.
No, yeah. Well, not even what you're at. That was the actress that was like, no, I'm not doing this for this film. But these 6 other women have
Yeah,
no problem
no
with
problem.
it.
So yeah, we're at the tit for tat. He's rides up on his motorcycle. His partner's there in a not that good tough guy costume. So
He
Bosworth,
looks like Ernest goes
Oh,
to
he
jail.
sucks.
yeah,
Yeah.
So Boz just rips his sleeves off, turns his hat around, tells him to grease his hair, and he's like, I can't, I'm like a hypochondria or something. Like, he doesn't say hypochondriac, right?
No.
He hates germs. You're like, that's nice, go away.
Is that going to come up later in this movie? No? Okay, good. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Well, he keeps
Oh,
repeating it.
hypocardiac, he says.
He keeps repeating.
It
that
comes
kind
up
of
once or
shit.
twice, but it doesn't like affect
Yeah.
anything.
No, there's no
It's not-
impact.
Yeah, there's no point where it's like, oh, I need to save his life, but I have to stick my hand into the pile of goo.
No,
It's just
just
to
to
highlight
present-
that he's a squeaky clean.
yeah.
Here's my one characteristic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And or maybe something left over from the previous script that who knows.
Heavily implies that he shouldn't be doing this line of work.
Yeah, he's a very like by the book, like square type of character.
What if they make this movie except the main character is the hypochondriac? Like, he's about to fist fight a bunch of guys, and you see he gets the sanitizer out and like puts it
pretty
around
much,
his hands.
It's pretty much Monk.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
Well,
that.
but when does Monk go beat up like 6 bikers
he
in
doesn't
a
beat,
fist
he
fight?
doesn't beat people up.
If you want to make a good comedy, that's a great premise.
One of the characters in The Boys is like that.
That if afterwards Monk style, he had to like put all the furniture back how it was, and, like, all of that before he
clean up all
left.
the blood.
So anyway, now inside we look at some ladies dancing for a while. We got like Motley Crude or Motley Poo, some sort of
Snotly poo.
Snotly Poo. Yeah, there we go. They're trying to do some 80s hair metal. And now we look up and we see Ice. He's one of the head biker guys in the Brotherhood. And he's sitting, he's like making out with this chick while he's sitting next to this like curly haired ginger guy that's like, Ice, you're so cool, man. You're just like the best. And then,
if I was a chick, I'd be trying to get into your pants.
yeah,
Do you want me to fluff you while you're making out?
I could totally get you ready.
Yeah.
So now,
Which makes you wonder how the fuck he even got into the gang.
that,
Never mind.
yeah. One day someone was like, you know what? Do it. You're pretty good at that.
Well, the implications are that the gang used to be very different.
Yeah.
And that it's kind of changed.
So Joe walks up there. He hasn't started calling himself Stone yet. Our main character is Joe. He walks up there and he's just like, hey, Ice, I'm a tough guy too. I just got out of the joint and I'm so tough. I want to be with the other tough guys. Ice is like, tough, man. I'm the tough guy.
You're
get,
too tough. You're too pretty to be in
Yeah.
our bike gang.
get the tough out of here. And then a girl's like, Ice,
What does he
help.
call him?
Bam Bam.
Bam,
Bam
bam,
Bam.
yeah.
Right.
He looks like a
grown-up
version of
Bam Bam.
Which is funny, is I was thinking of the wrestler Bam Bam Bigelow, who's like 400 pounds and has flames tattooed on the side of his head.
Not quite the same.
Like, he looked pretty badass. So anyway, these guys want a refund because the dancer sold them some bad drugs.
They're truck drivers.
Yeah.
My friend got wasted some bad stuff. Now he's up in a tree saying he's a leprechaun.
Well,
just
it's
here to help out.
Mississippi, not Alabama.
I want the gold.
So now they just, like, Ice shows up. They just start fighting. Everyone's fighting. This ginger guy isn't that good in a fight, and a guy's like got him on the ground and is hitting him, and he's like, Ice, help, help, Ice, help. I'm not very good. And then Joe just like beats this guy's ass, like pulls him off of the ginger and just launches him like a javelin over the bar. Just through a mirror.
He would be dead.
Yeah.
Deceased. His head would have broken.
Yeah,
Neck.
Well, in fairness, he is just made of straw.
Yeah. All right.
This guy you're talking about, the ginger. His name is, they call him Guts.
Well, we find out right now.
Yeah.
His name's Gut.
My guess is because he sucks at everything, but he has the guts to like try and be part of this
Yeah.
gang anyway.
I thought they were calling him Gutless.
No,
So-
they did that later when he, whatever. But
So I had to hit the back 10 seconds button a couple times just to be like, Gus? And he's just like, Gut? And I'm like, no, Gus? And I'm like, no, his name is just Gut. Okay. And he doesn't even have a gut. He's a pretty skinny guy. So he's like, hey, there's a Brotherhood rally this weekend. You should go there. And
Yeah,
Joe's
Brotherhood,
like,
that sounds like a good, safe name. I'll be there.
yeah. Oh, sure. I'll go there. We didn't talk about time or place other than this weekend.
Right.
But he's there. And he like drives up in like a perv van with his motorcycle on a
Hey!
trailer for no reason.
Yes.
Am I wrong?
Yes, John?
All right, you're right. I am a perv.
Go ahead. Yeah, I was going to say, like, do you really want this conversation to start?
Yeah.
as I said earlier, Joe, he's right next to you.
Need I remind you, this is not a safe space.
Well, and your van at least had windows all around. This one just had
Yeah,
on
granted,
the
they were
back.
all taped up
Yeah.
Well, the shades were
with
always
free
down.
kitten posters.
So we're now at the rally. The van shows up. He brought his motorcycle on a trailer just to take it off and ride it around. He's doing, the rally activities. He meets Ice for a motorcycle race, and they have a race, which of course he wins.
Of course.
Plays a couple of other games.
Yeah.
Gets
The
him
tickle
a
fight,
pink elephant.
obviously.
Gets into a pit fight with a guy that looks like professional wrestler Kenny Omega. And then they
Kenny Omega.
yeah.
Get a job, DSP.
Then they fight for a while, and Joe wins at that. And suddenly we see Lance Henriksen has been the smell of blood has attracted him.
Lance Henriksen doing his best Willie Nelson
Yeah.
high guy impression.
He's just flittering through the crowd watching this.
Hey man.
And finally, the finishing maneuver after a Shatner smash is Boz hits him with an uppercut that makes this dude do a backflip. So you know he's done. And now, like, Chains is like, you know what? I'm going to go break into that guy's van.
Yeah. Like you do.
And
Just beat up my toughest guy.
yeah, so now they meet. He goes back to the van, and there's a Lance Henriksen sitting in the open door, and there's a lady just going through his stuff, reading his magazines, and Joe, who is now calling himself Stone, John Stone. Yeah, he's like, get out of my van, and
And don't look at any more of my magazines.
yeah,
Or hard
like, what's
drives,
she-
please.
He's like, what's she doing? And
Thankfully,
Chains
this was
is like,
before browsing history.
she's like a cockroach. She just gets in your house and doesn't leave. And so,
She's like a Timu Marissa Tomei.
yeah, I didn't hear that her name was Nancy till like 3/4 of the way through the movie.
Yeah, it
so in my
doesn't
notes,
matter.
she's just a cockroach lady.
Yeah. Her name should have been Cockroach,
Yeah.
honestly.
I mean, that's better since most of the movie they just call her his bitch.
Yeah, and like,
Or old lady.
he's what do we call it? Stone's like, seriously though, get out of my van. He's like, all right, I will, but if you want her out of the van, you're gonna have to fuck her.
Yeah, you're going to have to bang her out of here.
Yeah. And she's like, that's true. Like, I'm not leaving till that happens. And
I'm loose and I'm full of diseases. Good
Yeah.
luck, friend.
he's like, no, pretty lady shouldn't be giving that away.
Nor should you. No, she's attractive. I'm just being a jerk.
Damn.
No,
So
she's
then-
a lovely, lovely woman.
Chains is like, come by the compound. We'll hang out. We'll see what we could do. Maybe you're a prospect. And so we just cut to at the Brotherhood compound, which has like a guard tower and barbed wire fences and security cameras. And
It's Waco.
Yeah,
Yeah. for the Brotherhood
And
of Evil Mutants.
he gets let in there, and Gut takes him into the bar, just for to watch some titty pool, and then to meet with Chains. Oh no! Chains' introduction into this scene, right? They're watching this woman with just wearing just a vest open with her tits out, playing pool.
Just pop out of that thing.
Yep. And then someone just takes a knife and just throws it into a butt crack on the wall, just right into the crack. It was a good throw,
right between
good
the
shot.
cheeks.
Yeah.
Right next to the door that Lance just opens up and walks out of.
That's how he's introduced to this scene.
The front end of this film is very tit heavy.
They were
top heavy.
They were very top.
Yeah, they were very heavy.
So he's like, "Hey, I brought you a bulletproof vest. How cool's that?" Lance Henriksen's like, "Put it on. It'll be cool."
Yep.
Yep.
Which, like in movies, for some reason, getting shot in a bulletproof vest launches you backwards.
Right. Well,
That's this movie. You cannot anytime you lose a fight or anything,
Yep.
punches send you flying backwards, gunshots send you flying backwards, and everything explodes. That's just how this movie functions.
I'm pretty sure the dude he beat up to make him do a backflip, like if the camera lingered on him for 5 seconds, he'd blink a couple times and then disappear.
yeah, it's like
Yes.
the Streets of Rage.
Yeah.
This is a better Street Fighter movie than the Street Fighter
Possibly
movie.
like leaving $1 on the ground or
double
something
crack.
like that.
Yeah, everybody you defeat.
Dude.
Everybody you defeat flies back, blinks, disappears, and leaves a baseball bat.
Yes.
Or crowbar.
Only 1 in 10.
No, okay.
So now he's like, "Okay, you thought that was funny. You shot me with my bulletproof vest. I'll give you the body slam onto the pool table." He's like, "Don't fuck with me. I'll kill you."
Ruined my present.
And Ice is like, "I hate this man. Let's stab him." And Chains is like, "Nah, he's cool. He body slams people."
Yeah.
He's like, "We could do business, but if you betray me, I'll peel off your skin with a knife covered in shit."
Like at that point, you're probably not concerned about where the knife's been. You're gonna die anyway.
I mean, once your skin's off, you're getting an infection, but it's
Yeah.
the fact that he made sure that it was going to happen immediately.
Yeah.
I guess.
Probably his own poop too.
I know a guy who's great at getting knives in butt cheeks.
Looking like the dude from Hellraiser, just no skin on. He's like, yeah, I mean, this sucks, but really, I'm worried about that fucking fecal coliforms.
He's in the corner though, like, "Don't look at me."
What's the he's either going to be my bologna sandwich or my bulldozer or something?
Yeah.
He's either going to be
Yep.
the biggest pork chop I ever ate, or my bulldozer.
There it is.
Ice is like, "Which one of those is good?"
What the fuck does that mean?
What does that mean?
Why are you licking your lips, man? Chill out.
So now Chains is
We've
like,
seen his pork chop.
"Check it out. I need you to go to Pensacola and kill a dude that's wearing this earring. Bring me his ear.
It's got a tattoo of a spider web in it.
Yeah, you got to go to Club Salsa." So he does, and we're at Club Salsa, and he's watching this guy not dance very well, and he meets the guy at the bar. He's like, "You're a good dancer," and the guy's like, "Don't fuck with me. I'm not a good dancer."
I tried very hard to be this bad.
And he's like, "You're right. I'll just smash your head on the counter and carry you out of here."
Yeah.
And apparently at Club Salsa, that's how like chicks get picked up every night or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're like, he's just going home with them.
Yeah.
That's
Even
There are a
better
couple
at
now.
Club
Bam,
Scum.
bam.
yeah. So now they take this guy to the FBI and have him deported, and he just gets an ear from somewhere and has a tattoo artist tattoo a spider web
It was
on it.
from a cadaver.
Just have
Okay.
a drawer full of ears.
Yeah.
Well, no, the FBI, I'm sure they have access to
Yeah.
body parts.
They went to Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I know a guy. So now they give the ear to Chains with the earring, and he's like, "Hey,
They had it tattooed too.
yep,
Yeah.
yeah."
I've
And
tattooed titties. I've tattooed a flabby ass. I've never tattooed a corpse before.
so now Chains is
really
like,
missed that
"This
much while I was
one's got
playing."
the earring, and I got the other earring. Hey, cockroach lady, you want some earrings? Woo!"
Here, smell this.
Yeah.
The ears turning all like gray, black now.
And now he's like, "All right, enough fucking around. Go ride around with Mr. Stone here. You got to go collect some money." That's his next task. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna run your background check with the police.
And that's where you first start getting infighting because that's somebody else's job.
Yep. Yeah, Ice is not happy that that's his job. So
He's really just not happy because he was skimming.
Probably.
Oh, Ice was skimming?
probably,
I don't know.
but he also he was the number one,
Yeah.
and now he's no longer the pork chop or the bulldozer, and he doesn't know which one he used to be.
Well, maybe he was just the plow.
Yeah.
Ice seemed like the top runner to be willing to be his girl when there was a change up. So I don't think he's going to skim from this guy.
So now this just gets weird. So after he calls in the background check, we cut to he's riding down the street. He's got Nancy on the back of his bike. Then there's this other guy who also looks like a young William Dafoe, and his name's Tool,
Slightly.
and he's riding with
It's
this
more like
other
Rickety Cricket.
redheaded lady, and they go to a brothel and shake them down for money, and then they have an argument
Why
that
are
I
you taking
couldn't
so much money?
that I couldn't follow.
The chick was upset that he was taking too much money, and they need
Yeah.
to leave some with the.
So
They work
and
hard
also-
for that.
yeah,
She
he
works
was-
hard for her money.
He was also giving her a hard time because it seemed like she was like either giving them money or leaving some behind already, and then he gave her more.
yeah. So she goes running back in there to give them some of their money back, and a car is driving down the street, talking about goddamn bikers, nosing in on our business, and the driver is just bleeding profusely from his nose and just blood all over his shirt, and you're just like, what?
Wait, what?
I don't remember that.
No, it happens like so. This scene, like he then throws a hand grenade at Tool, is out of order.
Oh, I missed
Yeah,
that.
I went back and watched it again. The driver is just because in the next scene,
Yeah.
Boz smashed his nose in.
And it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm like,
Okay.
why is this man just bleeding
I
everywhere?
totally missed
I
that.
must have blinked
I
and
missed that too,
Yeah.
completely.
So, Tool gets blown through a window with a hand grenade. And I'm like, that was kind of random.
And rude.
How did that guy catch on so quick? And then we cut to in the alleyway. Nancy comes out with a bag of money, and she's complaining to Stone. And then a fucking car comes, and like a guy comes out, steals the money. So Bosworth jumps on the hood of the car. And the guy's like, I have a fucking gun. So he's like, all right, I'm jumping off the car. And then the car drives out, and you're like, he's like, we're getting away. And then they get hit by a truck. And we find out this guy's name was Demichi, and he's an asshole for the mob. So now fucking Stone goes over and like beats up the driver of the car and smashes his nose in. And then the guy in the back seat like tries to grab him, and he breaks that guy's arm. And then like this Demichi guy just points a gun at him. He's like, I still have the gun. Just get out of here. And now you see, all right, the guy's face has been punched in, but like it's out of order.
Continuity.
Yeah. So now
He's so strong. He punched him in the future.
the guy's already feeling the effects of the
he
beating.
just gets a nosebleed. Just like, uh-oh, what's about to happen to me?
I guess I just assumed it was from the car wreck, but yeah.
So, even if it was that hadn't happened yet.
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
scene
no.
where he threw the grenade. So now we go to the hospital to see Tool, whose face is all messed up from the hand grenade. They brought him a pineapple pizza, and they're all like,
Just, yeah,
what's that?
that is before he throws the
How
grenade.
did I miss that?
Yeah, he's bleeding all over the place.
How the hell
Okay,
did
I
not
remember
see-
that now.
I guess I was just paying attention to the big
Yeah.
giant fucking
Well,
face
because
in the
the other
foreground.
guy's the one talking and tossing a grenade. Like,
And
it goes by
his
quickly.
lines are very clearly 80 yard.
Oh yeah,
So maybe it's something
so
that,
many
like-
people's lines are 80 yard in this.
Yeah.
All right, so now at the hospital, right, the whole biker gang went to see Tool.
Sure.
His face is all blown up from the grenade.
But his
He
dick
looks
is
like
still
the
there.
Joker. Yeah,
Yeah.
but his dick is still there.
He looks
Yeah,
like Two-Face.
Change
sure of that.
change checks.
Well, he looks like Two-Face and Joker combined.
Maybe that's why they call him Tool. Maybe he's got
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah,
Oh, maybe he's got a huge hog.
perhaps.
Could be.
I can't call him hog because that's a motorcycle.
Yeah,
It's too confusing.
they already have poker,
And they already have poker.
so he's got to be Tool. So
Magic Schwartz. I feel Magic Schwartz is as big as mine.
we're having a great time here. You know, everyone's laughing and joking, and then
Yeah.
Gut plays his harmonica for like 2 seconds. Shane's like, "Oh,
Yo, what the hell? I was like, why?
fuck out of here with that."
Well, to be fair, when anybody busts out a harmonica,
Yeah, that was like full.
I don't disagree, but
It was the equivalent of like
uncalled
wait
for.
in the car.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it is
You
literally
go
wait with the butts.
Yeah. Go wait in the car. You fucked up.
Oh, jeez, man! Wait till Blues Traveler comes
Yeah, this-
out.
Yeah.
You're gonna,
Oh.
you'll lose your mind.
Again, this is Guts, and like he's got like I think there's something going on with his eye. He probably can't see very well, or he's squinty or whatever. I don't know. Like he seems to be just like a real shitty dude. He's like the guy they keep around just to beat on, basically. So yeah, he's shitting on him yet again.
He's a little late. That's all I'm gonna say.
So we see on
He's never on time.
TV.
he's a little slow.
He's always a little tardy. Go ahead, John.
Are we done?
No, well, we'll see.
Are we done for now?
Yeah, done for now.
Okay. So we see on the TV in the hospital that there's the district attorney Whip Whitman wants to run for governor.
Whipperton.
And he's talking about, he's like, no, 45 years is not enough for this man who shot a Defoe-esque priest in the middle of the day.
And is like 50 years old already, and he
Yeah.
will be dead.
This
before he
man,
gets
we
out of
gotta
prison.
kill this man. And by God, you gotta make me governor so I can kill him. And
Please elect me because the bloodlust is so strong.
so
I mean, it is the South, so.
Well, yeah.
Wow.
Fucking-
Okay.
so-
The views and opinions of one Brickleton do not represent.
so now Chains is like,
Well, I'm sure that's sorry. I'm sure that it's also a thing of like he doesn't really care, but like he's probably running on a platform of hard against crime. So this is his,
yeah, he's
sticking
got
point for the campaign.
as we all know, the death penalty prevents recidivism.
Also, maybe it was his daughter at the christening or whatever. I don't know.
It does not.
It doesn't say.
I mean, to be fair,
Oh.
if they're dead, they can't repeat.
I suppose.
It's true. There's 0% repeat offenders.
Yeah.
That's true.
Except for vampires.
So anyway, now Chains is like, turn that guy off. So Ice just elbows the TV, breaking it. You know, like, that's Tool's TV, man.
Yeah, I was
Right.
thinking
Yeah.
the same thing.
And then Chains is like, bitches, marry this man. You're going to marry him. And she's like, he's... She's like, too bad. You have to marry him. He took a hand grenade in the line of duty. You're his wife now.
Yep.
Oh, and somebody
Really
get
is.
somebody get him a TV so he can watch
Somebody
Wheel
compared
of
him to
Fortune.
Willie Nelson earlier. He's like Willie Nelson crossed with
Ted Nugent.
Kanye.
Ted Nugent and Charles Manson.
There you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. He's like, all right, Tool, sit tight. I got to go visit the Wops.
Hello.
Yeah. So we're going to go to the fancy restaurant to see the mob. And we're going to give them a biker helmet.
So,
It's a fancy Italian bike helmet.
Oh, yeah.
in typical oblivious form, I completely thought that was a euphemism for I've got to go take a shit. And had no idea what it meant.
Oh,
So now I know what WAPs are.
sweet innocent brick.
Like
No, I
Did you
think-
Google it?
No, I didn't know it until this podcast
Hey
started.
Google, what's a WAP?
Do you know what it stands for?
No, I have no idea what it's.
Without passport.
Oh,
or
without
sometimes
papers.
I've heard papers, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without
Same
papers, yeah.
same basic point.
huh. Okay.
Either way, I could see you kind of thinking about it as like a whimsical British word for using the bathroom. Like, oh, I've got
Yeah,
the
I
Wops.
just-
But it's really slang derived from Italian immigrants.
I love
Without
the
papers
idea
and passports.
that in this movie, Lance Henriksen playing this, nasty character and whatever. He goes to visit this guy after he got blown up with his face all fucked up.
Yeah.
And he's like, we got to kill this guy. But first I got to take a whimsical shit.
Oh, I've got the whops.
I had a toasted cheddar street chalupa, and man, it gave me the
All
wops.
the weird jargon and slang
Well, he's
that he uses. Who the hell knows?
John Stone just made me a smoothie. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Got the wops real bad.
I got the wops.
Yeah, that will give you the wops. Oh, no, we shouldn't say that.
So
Greasy wops.
Yeah. I
one-
hate the greasy wops, man.
so
See,
one
now you
scene,
understand where my confusion was.
so one scene we skipped.
Stands for wipe over pants.
So there was a scene that I
I'll
skipped.
tell you what, you don't want to be without papers when you got the wops.
True. Oh shit. That's a bad sign.
No, that,
Unless you got a bidet,
Yeah.
son.
but we see John Stone has gone to Chains and he has a vial, something, and Chains is like, "Is that what I think it is?"
It's
I'm like,
water.
You gonna tell me what that is? 'Cause,
I don't know what
Do you want to hear how morbidly obese people wipe their ass?
Nope. Joe, what's in that vial?
are you going to tell us anyway?
No, if you say you don't want to know.
I want to know,
I
Rob.
want to know.
know.
I want to know.
I want to know.
I want to know what
put-
love
They'll
is.
put a washcloth on the edge of their sink.
Their sink.
Yes. And just back their ass onto it.
Oh, that's okay. I thought there
Oh, the
was
bathroom sink.
an actual punchline.
No, well, I mean, it's
This is a
it's
fact.
yes, at least for
From personal experience.
yes,
For
I
first
do
hand.
it a couple of times. Anyway, go on, please.
So
It's like this. I'll demonstrate for you.
No, yeah, yeah.
all right,
You wash yourself with a rag on a stick. I remember. I remember.
he's pantomiming. Well, his ass was on the table. Yeah,
Yeah,
He's
I didn't get the
pantomiming how to
corner
do it.
into my crack to really get the
drive
poop,
it home.
to get the the
Well, that's good
majority
because
out.
then you'd have to wash the tablecloth, and who's got time
yeah,
for that?
It's too much effort.
All right.
Bottom line, Stone's like, I got a vial of this P2P, this crank. I could get 3 barrels of it.
It looks a lot like water, pal.
It's enough to get everyone on the coast of the Gulf of America all wired up on crank.
I'm pretty sure it was one of the Gatorades you made us try.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I'm wearing Gatorade.
James is like, that's a great idea. All right, now let's go give a severed head to the Italians. So, he goes to the mob. He's like, here's a helmet. The mob's like, we don't ride. And he's
Well,
like,
you're still a retard. You need to wear it.
yeah, open her up. And they open it up, and there's just Dimitri's heads in there.
His little eyes poking out like, hey.
He's
Yeah.
looking to
Hey.
the side.
It
like,
looks kind of mischievous and fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honest.
And then he's
I
like,
did kind of wonder if they purposely posed him like that, so when they opened it, he would be like, "Hey, guy."
now that I killed one of your dudes, I'm gonna sell you 3 barrels of P2P. And they're like, cool, 50,000. We'll meet at the docks, whatever.
Well, was it one of their dudes or was it like a competing Italian guy?
I think he was a rogue guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Either way, like you saw them pull the helmet out of the box and there was nothing in it. You could see the back of the helmet pretty obviously.
Oh yeah.
Easily.
Well, but here's the thing, and again, I'm piecing things together and guessing they might have been in a part of the scrap story.
Yeah, kind of like the editor.
But what I believe is the situation is the Italian guy that threw the grenade didn't like the biker gang being in his territory. They were collecting money from that area, whatever, but he was claiming it as his own, so he was trying to get them out of there. That's why he threw the grenade. They killed him, then went to his boss and said, "We're still going to run this area, but like we can work together, and we'll give you a cut or whatever. Like, because here's a
make a
present, here's
deal."
this drug and whatever."
Okay.
So I think that's what's happening.
So now, all right, there's a deal going on. So Stone's got to go meet with Lance, and he meets with him in a bathroom somewhere. And Lance is now complaining about a toilet for longer than you would like him to.
Yep.
He's like, I'm pretty sure George Washington took a dump in there. He says some other stuff too. And then Stone's like, hey, I need you to get me 3 barrels of crank and a witness.
36 barrels.
I heard 3.
I think it's 36.
36.
It was like a truckload.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. 36 barrels of crank.
The most explosive crank you can get.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, okay, we could do that. Who's going to be your witness? He's like, Chain's old lady. I've seen these movies before. She's going to make out with me sooner or later. And they're like, okay, cool. Now we find out the National Guard has been deployed to like set up checkpoints to stop these bikers. And so Chains and Ice and a bunch of other bikers show up to two National Guardsmen with assault rifles and just, be shitty to them, pull a gun on them, and then just kidnap them, knee them in the stomach and beat them up.
And the guy at one point is literally like, please just let us do our job.
Yeah. Like fucking worst fucking troopers.
They're National Guard Reserve.
Yeah. Also, you kill National Guard Reserve, though, then you're going to get the actual National Guard,
Right.
and
Or
then
you're
the
gonna
army.
storm your shit.
Yeah.
this
And
is
your
not-
bikes aren't going to do much
not
against
gonna end
tanks.
well.
But anyway, they put them in crates and then just shoot them. And what's her name? Nancy's like, "Hey, you just killed those guys."
in cold blood.
And Chains is like, "I need a new bitch," and like pushes her away. And Ice is like, "Hey, you could have one of mine," and pushes her over. And
I could be you could have one of mine.
yeah, Chains is like,
Oh,
"Cool,
thanks."
new bitch." And then Guts like, "What is going on here? This isn't what I signed up for. The gang's changed, man. Back in my day, we didn't shove people's hands into motorcycle tires." And Chains is like, "Well, we do it now." And as far as I know, like when we see Guts from now on, like his hand, I think he has a bandage on his hand at
I
one
didn't
point.
notice any
but
difference.
I didn't
yeah.
notice either.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like it is at least bandaged. I don't know the full extent because like they don't really show it. They don't, it's basically like if you catch it when when he happens to be in a scene. But
It's implied that his hand is mangled.
Yes.
Under the tires of motorcycle.
yes, he is punished for standing up.
So now Stone goes over to talk to Nancy, who's like looking all sad, standing by a tower somewhere out in the bayou. And Nancy's like, "Yo,
We're
Chain's
ranked number
murdered
1.
2 people. He's planning this thing called D-Day. I don't know what it is, but he's saving all his money for it." Stone's like, she's like, "I'm going to leave." Stone's like, "Hey, don't worry. Oh, don't leave yet." He's like, "I can get you out. I mean, I could get you killed. I mean, out."
Yeah, no, the first one
That'll
that's
get you out,
definitely-
though.
yeah, that's-
And then, with subtlety only slightly higher than Samurai Cop, they just start making out. She's kind of like, do I have? Oh, I have to. Okay, I guess.
okay,
I'll
all right.
walk in there.
Cool.
Meanwhile,
I
Stone.
mean, to be honest, she was
it's-
ready to fuck him in the van
yeah,
the first
rain
day.
Stone's
check
just
from the
kind of
van.
like.
Let's do it.
Making large lizard noises.
I'm wearing sexier underwear than you.
Which again, and this is both what leads to the thought of the Vanity Project and project kind of thing, and also makes no sense is we see almost nothing of his home life. We know they cut out the whole thing with being married, but the only little bit of his life outside of all this that we get is he seems to have a girlfriend and a lizard.
Yeah.
We see
Well,
nothing
he
of the
has-
lizard ever again, and apparently the girlfriend's out of his mind
He
because now
has
he's
a
making out with someone
relationship
else.
with a
Be
lady.
right back.
We don't
Yeah.
know if she's necessarily his girlfriend.
Fair enough, but like, I don't. It's still, it's weird to put that in if you're just later on gonna like be like, yeah, now he's making out with somebody else. Like, either make it clear that that's a
Tony,
one-time
he's
thing,
also
or don't
undercover.
have it.
Yeah, he's undercover. B, Tony, that's too much for just one lady. He's got to spread it around.
And a lizard.
yeah, no.
So the military is collecting their dead reserve people, and they find a death note in one of the pockets. That's like the
Covered in blood.
covered in blood. Well, covered in red
Yep.
stuff that wants to pretend it's blood, but is not the right color or texture or anything.
That's when William Dafoe shows up
Sure, why not?
because he's the Shinigami.
Okay, whatever you said. So
Anime things. Don't worry about it.
all right, cool. Anime thing. So yes, then it's
right.
then
Death
it's suddenly.
So your wife was
Played by
cleaning the
Willem
bathroom, and I was like, I'll take care of that.
Yes.
Just leave
Needless to
that,
say, she is starting over.
just
Okay.
leave that washcloth on the sink.
Just leave it on the corner.
Um,
Yeah, so obviously there is a threat against the prospective governor, mayor,
Wiki.
yeah,
Governor-elect.
Whippoorwillow's life.
yeah. So now,
Whippington, I think is his freaking actual name.
yeah.
And
Did,
it's
did you talk about how the National Guard brought the 2 dead bodies back to the spot they were taken from?
I did not mention
to show them
that.
to the cops.
Oh.
I just
Yeah.
said they
No,
took
they
him.
were loaded. They were in the back of their guard truck.
Well, yeah, but then they're just on like a bridge somewhere, like that looked like the bridge they were kidnapped
Well,
from.
yeah,
Yeah,
they-
the
they-
bikers put them in their truck.
Okay.
The
put-
bikers brought them
guess,
to their
yeah.
truck, which is where they're.
Oh.
They
Makes
loaded them
sense.
into the back of their guard truck.
But the
Yeah.
way the scene starts, it just looks like the National Guard's just unloading them from a truck, like they drove it there.
Yes.
Because you don't see them arrive on the scene or
Yeah.
anything.
Again.
Yet again,
Probably-
I figured it out just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, either way, now Stone's.
John understands stupid, I guess.
Well, I mean, I hang out with all of you.
It's true.
Yeah.
He's sitting right next to you.
So,
He's been able to interpret me for decades now.
does
Stone
make
is
sense.
now at a diner with Nancy talking about nothing. And then, like, Lance walks by, gives him a note on the check to say, like, meet me over at the parking spot or whatever. So he walks out of the diner.
Nothing about that was subtle.
Yep. Leaves Nancy there. Just walks right by Ice. Ice is like, oh, time for you to die. And he sneakily gets on his motorcycle and listens to the whole fucking conversation that Lance and Stone have here. And Lance is like,
Motorcycles are so quiet.
hey Stone, you
You
should
use the pedals.
yeah, you have to leave. You got to get out of this case. And Stone's like, nah, man, I'm staying in it. And Ice is like, you're a fucking cop. And sprays his machine pistol everywhere, and in true machine pistol fashion, hits nothing. And then we got a bike chase on now. You got Ice and Stone riding on Harleys, and a cop's like, "Can I play too?" And Ice is like, "No." And the cop car explodes, and then they're driving through a tunnel, and Ice like has like a knife of some sort, and he just like there's a guy driving, and Stone's on the other side of the car, and he just goes up to the driver and just cuts him with the knife, so he like pulls the other way.
Hilarious, honestly.
I've never seen someone do that before.
Yeah, it was like genuinely original.
He just looks over. He's like, "What's up, bro?" And then Ice is just like, "Schwank."
So then he's so proud of himself for that. He's just like, yeah. Then he just crashes into oncoming traffic and fucking explodes. Just like the motorcycle. There's not that much explosive things on the motorcycle. And
Doesn't even carry that much gas.
yeah, he flies over the car, lands on the ground, and he's like,
It's
But-
literally-
He was full of helium.
yeah.
you can hear like the Goofy scream.
Yeah.
And he dies with a "fuck you, cop." And now Nancy's back at the biker base, and she gets a call from the police lady and is like, "Hey, that John Stone guy, he's actually Joe Huff." So then, like, Stone shows back up to the base, and Nancy's like, "Look me in the eye and tell me that you're not a cop." And now I rewound this, but
Yeah.
maybe I'm having some audio issues because I'm hearing different things
Nah,
from
he
what you guys
said,
are.
"Yeah, I'm a cop."
Yeah, okay, he did tell her
He
that
did,
he's
yeah.
a cop.
That's what I heard.
Just
Yeah.
straight up.
Yeah, because later on she's like, "You're a fucking cop." Like,
Again, interpreting because
Yeah.
they don't,
I think she took it as sarcasm.
Yes,
That's
I,
how
I,
I
and I think that's
interpreted
the way he's saying it too. It's like I'm a cop. You happy now? It's kind of like I am telling the truth,
Yeah.
but I'm saying it
I
like I'm
did
not.
tell you.
Well, I took it as like, "Yeah, I'm a cop." but I also am not killing people in cold blood. Like,
Yeah.
I've treated you well, and like, you want to bang.
Well, yeah, but I think
me,
the idea, because I had the same problem where, like, I think the idea is she didn't take it seriously because he wasn't that serious about it until he later on is revealed to be a cop, because that's the only thing that makes sense for why she would have the freak out at that point.
Well, I mean, you could tell some.
Ice's machine pistol was a Calico, either M950 or M1, which is chambered in either 9mm or 22 LR. So
Well, for the amount of bullets he was firing, it would
Yeah.
need to be.
that is not blowing up anything.
No. It's like, there's a reason why you don't see people use that pistol today.
But again, like,
It does look cool, though.
yeah.
It does look cool.
And also, because we want it to look cool in movies, everything's made, every vehicle and most buildings and some people are made like the Simpsons Canyon Arrow.
Yeah.
Like, if a leaf falls on it, it will explode. That's just how it is.
So now we get a pretty cool funeral for Ice. Like, they just put his corpse up on his motorcycle on top of a bonfire.
Yep.
And Chains gives him a eulogy, and then they light a cigar for him.
Send
his
this fucker to Valhalla.
Yeah, and send him to Valhalla.
Which, again, I had a slight issue with this, because we see, just as they're about, they're just about to prepare to light it.
Yeah.
So they have a guy take a bucket and splash it on the body. But we also see there are people all around this thing. So the other side of the body got doused in gasoline, and then this thing got lit on fire.
Fire safety's not their number one priority.
Safety isn't their number one priority.
But I imagine, like, we should have seen the other half of the crowd all end up in the hospital like Tool.
So now, where even are we? So
Burned Ice's corpse.
well, yeah. So now, he meets with Lance and the FBI guys. Stone talks about a plan to get the mob and the biker gang together. And they're going to go through with it. They got this guy, Martinez. He's going to drop the truck off. He's like Stone's guy. So he pulls up and he goes, like, the bikers are all waiting to make this deal. And he walks up to Stone in front of all these bikers, many of which that have pointed guns at him. And he's like, all right, check it out. You're only giving me 5%. I want more money. And I brought a pistol to make sure that I get it. Mm-hmm. And Stone's like, I'm going to shoot you. Bang, bang. And all the bikers are just like, okay. Like, they're lucky that none of them tried to shoot, too. There's no reason why this guy's death needed to be faked. But anyway, so they did. And then later on,
You cement Stone as a
Yep.
badass.
Yeah, I
You
think
see-
it's,
Look,
the-
I'm
people
I'm
were
willing
starting
to
to figure.
kill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people were starting to figure it out, and even before this, when Ice was still alive, he made some comment about, like, I'm the only one that's been doing any killing, because this guy he's not killing, so I think he's a cop, blah, blah, blah. So I think this was to be like,
I
I'm not a
guess,
cop. I'm not a
but
cop, I swear. I
at
kill
this-
people, look.
at this point, like, the deal's on. You don't need to
Yeah.
do that. But I like
It was an
later,
awkward
you see
time to
Martinez.
do
He's like, I died real good tonight. He's got the squibs going off and everything. So now they take the truck, and Stone and Nancy are driving the truck, and it gets rerouted. And then Lance just fucking calls, like, the CB radio or whatever, and he's just like, hey, Joe, is everything okay? Do you got anyone else in there with you? And Nancy's like, you're a fucking cop?
First of all, that's not how CB radios work.
Yep.
And second, totally lack of subtlety thing.
Yeah.
Super unprofessional.
Indeed. So I like the cops, though, because they're moving the deal to another location. So follow it. It's a big fucking truck. Just go there. Like,
Like I said, totally unprofessional operation.
And then they pull up to the deal, and Chains is like, yeah, I changed the location. It's how I do business. And so Stone's like, all right, I'm gonna go. Bye. Just drives off.
Yep.
And he just goes right back to the cops. And I'm like, okay, so now they're gonna raid this location.
You would think.
And the cop, they're in like another county or something. They're like, man, the deal fell apart, and we gave them all the crank. We actually made 36 barrels of P2P and
I
gave it
don't
to
know.
criminals.
Apparently, real drugs.
Yeah,
I
we
don't know
didn't.
why. But.
We didn't have any. We didn't even have like trackers in them or any
No
contingency.
contingency plan.
It was an honor system.
Yeah, not even like a paint bomb or something to ruin the stuff. Like,
Helicopter.
yeah,
Yeah, I do. Yeah, this, I get it. Like they wanted to have it in this one location because they have, a whole sting set up, whatever for him. But then, yeah, he goes back there and they're talking about us and like how they have to stop the drugs from getting the thing. I kept thinking like they're like a mile down the road, and from when he left, it looked like only one exit in and out. Just fucking just
go.
off.
Like,
Yeah.
I did look it up. P2P is indeed an actual drug.
Yeah. Well, it's an ingredient for a drug. I think,
Yeah,
right?
I didn't know it was.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, now he's like, all right, I'm gonna go stop that truck, and I love when guns are activating things that guns have no business activating. He just rides up to this truck and shoots the pin that holds the trailer on out
Sure.
somehow.
Sure.
It looked like he was aiming for the hoses and the wires that connect.
I was like,
That
that
wouldn't
wouldn't
really
shoot out the wheels.
work out
That makes
right
sense.
either.
Yeah. I mean,
No.
it's 18 wheels, and those are kind of hard to pop. They violently explode when they are popped,
Right.
but
Also, shooting out the tire. I mean, yes, it'd be difficult, and like you'd probably
Get
go
him
through.
to pull over at least.
yeah, you only need to shoot a couple of them before.
But also, more importantly,
control.
that would actually do something.
Yeah.
Unlike this, that should not have worked at all.
Yeah.
Like,
And he does ask him to pull over first.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah,
polite
he
about
does.
it.
the trailer's just like, bye. It's still it's upright somehow, and it's like, oh, I need to get some gas. It just pulls into a gas station, and the fucking explosion. It's magnificent. Like, I would be mad if the movie wasn't just like, I don't care anymore. I'm like, you know what,
Well, to
movie?
be fair,
Fine.
it never did. Care.
Yeah, it never did care. So yeah, you're like, fine.
but this is an important part because with this messed up sting, from here on out, he causes way more damage
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
death
If
than
he-
he resolves.
If he just went home,
yeah, it would have been
Yeah.
better. Would have been better.
it would have. And even now, like, Lance is like, yo, you shouldn't go back there. Like, they're fucking, they're going to be on to you now.
I got
So,
this.
yeah. So, what you call it? Now, the truck blows up. We see that there's this army guy that's in the biker gang, and he just went and, like, rented an Iroquois Huey helicopter.
And Mac's dad.
Yeah,
from
he handed
Always
him
Sunny.
like 50 grand or whatever.
It seemed like he borrowed it from a military base
Yeah.
that
Yes.
Yep.
they were both on.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
paid,
Yeah.
he paid like the guard off to take
But,
the
Yeah.
helicopter.
but the guy who's part of the gang, he actually did say that he AWOL'd from the military.
Yeah, and they mentioned also before with
his name is AWOL, right? His nickname.
I think it is. Yeah.
but they mentioned before with the bulletproof vest thing is like like this is military grade or something, and he's like, well, most of your stuff is. So like it's clear, it's the whole thing. He's got police on his side. He's got
I'm
military
just
on
saying,
his side.
if they're on a base,
Yep.
that helicopter would not be going anywhere.
No.
Yeah.
Not scheduled to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, theoretically,
Yeah.
you could, if no one gives a shit and you fake a lot of papers,
Or
and,
just pay a lot
and
of
have
people off.
maybe submitted a flight plan beforehand or whatever. But like the helicopters, well, maybe there's more guys with AWOL, but they wouldn't just send it like one guy's got the helicopter, there he goes.
Yeah,
But-
that's not how.
Yeah. This is, there. I would say it's implausible, but there is that time the guy just walked into a base and just took an M60 tank and drove out of the base with it.
Yeah.
The cops had to chase him. Like,
Well, again, I will say that this part is more plausible than shooting at the back of that
Yeah.
truck and causing the trailer to fall off.
I'm
the
like,
back.
I'm willing to go
So,
with it.
Yeah.
Uh,
And also, everything from this point on just nonsense. So
yeah.
I forgot.
Fucking
Where
get on
was the
board.
base that happened?
It was in California with the tank.
Huh. Wow.
So while I was checking just to make sure that was a Bell Iroquois helicopter, just to make sure I recognized it properly. So I was searching on the internet for an image, and while I was typing it in, it said Bell Iroquois for sale, and I'm like, it's It was a Vietnam era helicopter. By this point, they could have just bought one. I'm not mad that they have a helicopter. Mm-hmm. So, now fucking Stone shows back up at the biker base, and Chains is like, "Check it out, you're a cop. You know how I know?" And he's looking at Nancy, and like Joe's looking at Nancy, and Nancy's like, "I didn't tell him." And now he knows that Chains knows that Nancy knows, and he's like, "No, it was the guy you deported. He just called me up, and I smuggled him in or whatever." And this guy's like, "Hey, I told you not to fuck with me, ha ha ha." And then Chains is like, "Yeah, I still wanted you dead, man."
You've served your purpose.
Yeah. And then he just shoots Nancy, and you're like, "Wow, okay,
Yep.
yeah, that good thing you came back here today."
Well, that's the thing. So he did not know that Nancy knew about any of this.
Yeah.
He did not know that she was trying to leave. He
Yep.
didn't know any of that
Yep.
shit.
He just shot her to fuck with Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who convinced her to stay.
Yep.
He is the
Yeah,
reason she
she's
is
dead.
dead.
Yep.
Yep.
Fuck this guy.
And then they're like, "We're gonna keep you alive. Don't worry. I only loaded 2 bullets into the gun. We're gonna blow you up as a distraction. Just a giant Brian Bosworth firework.
Sure.
Throw you out the helicopter.
Why not?
And I love that the plan too is
Everybody loves a parade.
they're gonna sneak people into the place that they're doing D-Day on, the state capitol, and
Or the courthouse.
then the plan. Well, the courthouse was in the state capitol.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the plan is, after all these shenanigans occur, the helicopter's going to pick them up. Or at least pick up Chains and the guy they're trying to rescue. But first it's going to throw a man out of it who's going to explode.
Yep.
And they're going to be like, "Well, that helicopter just dropped a bomb and
Right.
it's flying to the courthouse."
I think they were going to drop his corpse somewhere and it was timed to explode to create a
with 20
distraction.
seconds.
He said
it's
they
not-
were gonna blow his corpse all over the city. That
Yeah.
seems to me like it's in the plane. It's like in the air.
Was he should not be in the helicopter. Like, they should have left him somewhere with a bomb or something. Like, don't call attention to the helicopter that's going to be your escape vehicle.
Well, here's the problem. Everything you're saying makes sense, and
Yeah.
this is a bad plan, but I can't be too hard on it because it fucking works.
Well, that's the other
Everything works.
I mean, just fucking.
Well, almost everything.
It's not hard, like, from a writing perspective. Just like, there's a bunch of bikers dressed as army guys on the helicopter. They come in, they bring Lance Henriksen an army suit. They all leave on the helicopter.
Yeah.
Done. No one questions that.
There's better ways, like
Yeah.
most of this movie, that it could have been executed.
Yep.
They did not choose that way.
So now, they got Joe in the helicopter here.
In fact, just sorry to. Never mind. I'll get back to it later.
Okay.
Continue.
So they got like the state Supreme Court and the gubernatorial candidate, the whip man, some other prosecutor.
I think at this point he's the governor elect.
Yeah, the governor elect and another prosecutor are all here to like make sure that this guy who's going to rot in jail actually gets the death penalty. And Lance Henriksen's like, "Oh, we can't have this. I'm going to just ditch the whole Willie Nelson biker get up and just be Lance Henriksen." Like, he just went
In a
into his
priest
closet
outfit.
and got the priest outfit.
Yep.
And sneak into the Capitol. Someone already taped a machine gun to the bottom of my
Nobody
chair.
checked anything in here.
Good thing that like nobody sat in his seat.
Right.
Yep.
Like, that's not how court works. Like,
Well, I also wonder, like, I gotta assume everybody on that bench was with him because he just had a gun in his lap for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and on top of that, we
he
see
was
that
wearing a long coat. He
he's-
tucked it.
Yeah, but
He
like
didn't tuck it. We see him just patting it.
Yeah.
Like, here's a gun on my
He's-
dick.
even like the reaching down and
Well,
the
nobody-
pulling
you
it off
see
of
a-
the chair. and-
You see a priest fiddling with his lap. You don't want to look over
But
there.
the best part though is they show him
Suppose
legitimately.
91, everyone was looking away. But
They see him legitimately get past the metal detector in a convincing way with his rosary to
Yeah.
the point where he could have just had the damn gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Yeah, again, I feel like this is part of scenes deleted where we find out how corrupt like everyone is and whatever.
So
Although that does, actually, if you can get a gun in there, why did you have to sneak a bunch of people and
so
whatever?
fucking
Yeah, just put a bomb on this guy's car. Like, over
Yeah.
and done. Like, what are we doing?
Joe Stone,
just
John,
Put a
whatever.
bomb on the judge's bench with a jar of peach tea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grandma's peach sweet.
If you could get the gun in there, why not smuggle a bomb in there?
Yeah. So, yeah, Joe's in the helicopter. He's just like, I'm a real strong guy. I'm real mad. Brrr! And he breaks out of the helicopter and he just rips a hose out and just starts spraying fluid over everyone in the helicopter.
Why not?
Pretty sure that would fuck the helicopter and
Oh, yeah.
them,
Yeah.
but okay.
So, don't worry. The moment this helicopter took off, you were like, that thing's fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That and everyone on it.
But we now see the death sentence is delivered. So Lance Henriksen freaks out. He kills the prosecutor. He kills the governor-elect. He kills the state Supreme Court.
Yep.
Everyone's dying.
He wins, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone in that room, aside from Trouble and anyone else that might have been with him, is dead.
Yeah.
He won for 5
He
minutes.
won.
Yeah.
Well, no, debatably, he just won. Like,
he didn't-
I mean, Trouble didn't get out.
His-
He didn't get away.
Ultimately, there are
Yeah.
no winners in this
His-
movie.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
His brotherhood, lost their leader, but he martyred himself.
Yeah.
And another
Yep.
one will rise.
Exactly.
Well, no, like
They're all
the,
dead.
The Brotherhood
They're
is
all
dead.
dead, yeah.
well,
They all died.
Well,
all the hardcore members that were
The-
part of this,
that-
but there's like other chapters.
there's other
and all
chapters.
kinds
Yeah,
of
there's
shit.
there's other people back at the clubhouse.
And even if there aren't, I'm sure like they know people that
Yeah.
would just be like, "Oh, that guy was awesome. I like what he had to say." And now that's how this shit works.
All right,
Yeah.
so they sneak a truck in, drive that thing, past the National Guard, pull it up to the loading dock for the Capitol, just deploy some guys on Harleys,
Yep.
riding around the Capitol. I love the truck driver. He's like, he sees him ride by because he smashed through a window into like a clerk's office, and he's like, yeah, standing in front of the window like celebrating, and the National Guard just guns him down. And then the bikers arrive in the courtroom. Lance Henriksen and the priest murderer get on the bikes and start riding off. And
I think you skipped it, but like also here the diversion plan worked. They got that truck in because he put the bomb on that other dude and pushed
Oh,
him
that's
out
right,
with the
yeah.
helicopter,
Yep.
who exploded over a big portion of the city.
so now John Stone apparently can fall like one because he just jumps out the helicopter through a window like 50 feet. He
Might as well have done the Iron Man pose when he just...
Yep.
Yeah.
the biker guy that saw that happen, who's taking all these hostages, he's like, "Are you okay?" And he's just like, tackles that dude.
Also, this is a weird thing of editing because I never realized this the first time I'd seen it, and like one or two times I'd seen it. I think that it looks like he falls on his face on the
Yep.
marble floor, but I think that's supposed to be he landed and then hit the wall.
Maybe.
Because he doesn't seem to
Yeah.
go like
Yeah.
like the physics aren't right for so
Yeah.
I think he hit the wall, but that doesn't
He
make
landed
sense.
on his feet and then
Yeah.
But you fell out of a helicopter. You
fell
don't just
into the
land on your
wall.
feet like ooh.
John Stone does.
yeah.
Yeah, the Capitol
Or
building
Joe
broke
Huff
his fall.
does.
yeah.
Yeah. He huffed a lot of air and became a balloon.
Huff and I'll puff.
I would have loved if they had like Mario World. He just went whoop, whoop, whoop.
It's like Kirby.
And,
Or that.
and like a video game with really bad AI, like a whole platoon of National Guardsmen's just like running in the Capitol, and there's one guy with a machine gun just
Yep.
like spraying the whole platoon, and none of them go for cover or anything.
OPSEC is not really a functional
Yeah.
thing in this movie.
Then Joe just walks up. He's on the same level with him. He's like, I have this machine gun, but I'm just going to pull my pistol. And
That's all I need.
yep, one shot takes that dude out.
Again, because he goes flying back and over a banister
Yep.
like everybody else does.
Then the murderer that they were after that was being sentenced, and some other biker are coming at him on their bike like, he has two guns, but if we scream real loud and ride the bike at him, this has to work.
Yeah, we'll throw him off.
Yeah, yeah. And Joe's like, you're on a vehicle. That thing explodes.
Again, you're the movie we're thinking of as like a joke version of this. That should be the thing. He just reminds them
Yeah.
they're on a vehicle, and so it explodes.
Yep. So, the National Guard like shoots another one of the goons, and then Mudfish, who's still in the courtroom, I thought he was Monkfish.
Might as well.
He's like yelling a bunch of shit out the window about hostages and don't send anyone else in here. And then Stone peeks around the corner and he sees Gut, and Gut sees Stone. And Mudfish turns around and he sees that Gut is thinking about maybe not being a bad guy. So he's like, "You're dead," and shoots him. But then Stone pops out.
Yeah, Stone was peeking around like, hey, Gut, did I get you killed yet? No? Okay, good
Yep.
time.
Gut's like, "Don't worry, you will." And then like Joe just blasts Monkfish right out the window, right onto a car roof. And now it's just down to Chains and another guy on a Harley versus Joe. And Joe decides wisely. He's like, "This thing will explode, this motorcycle, but if I let it go past me, it'll explode into a helicopter." Like extra level boss fight moves.
So yeah, well, first of all, this was what I was waiting for. Is just I can only imagine the idea then was their escape would be these two on this motorcycle were going to drive out that window to get on the helicopter.
Well, the helicopter was waiting on the roof, and they were just gonna
No, it
drive out.
wasn't.
and
It
get
was outside
It
that
never
window.
landed.
Well, no, so it was going to, but he's like, "It's too hot out here."
Okay.
Also, like,
All right.
this big blonde asshole pulled one of the hoses out of the wall.
Like I can't actually stop the helicopter from moving. I don't have that capability anymore.
So, yeah. So now there's a scene where they're all just looking at each other, reloading guns, and the guy on the bike is just like revving the engine, like, "Roar!" And then just drives right at the guy with a gun who shoots him. And then the bike goes flying out the window into the helicopter and blows up AWOL. And you're just like, of course. I wouldn't have it any other way. And now so Joe's chasing after. What's that?
It also just dawned on me, like, you were talking about him getting this off the military base and everything.
Yeah.
It just occurred to me that, like, if things had gone to plan, he was just going to return this and no one
Yeah.
would be the wiser.
Yeah.
Sure.
yeah.
I'm sure the news wouldn't, like, be able to
No.
identify the helicopter, find out where it came from or anything.
No.
Well, I mean, they were probably just going to leave it in a field somewhere and run off.
Well, no, because
But-
the guy. Well,
Hey, it was
I mean,
gonna-
maybe, but the guy at the base was like, "You better have this back or by."
Well, yeah,
whatever."
I don't think he really cared
Yeah,
about.
it's not really a.
Yeah.
Ooh, I think he
AWOL was
promised.
like, "Yeah, sure, I will."
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mr.
I mean,
Homo.
yeah,
They
that
don't
could
call
be.
me
That could
AWOL for no reason.
I mean, I earned the name AWOL by returning equipment.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Colonel AWOL over here.
You got me on that one.
Don't worry, I'll leave a Nazi flag as.
So, now fucking Chains over here decides he's gonna hide in the courtroom, and he pops out, points the gun at Joe, and he's like, "Welcome to the scene of my slaughter." Joe's just like, "Are you gonna use this gun?" "No." "All right, I'll take it from you," and then punch you for like 10 minutes.
By
Just
my actions, your gun is now mine.
just punches the hell out of Lance Henriksen for a while.
Throws him down some stairs.
Yep. Then the gun's on the floor, and Lance Henriksen's like crawling over, like, "I'm gonna get it."
Yeah, this scene made no sense. It was like,
Yeah, this is where kind of the balloon starts to deflate a little bit because you're just like you're looking at Bosworth here and you're looking at
Yeah.
Lance Henriksen and you're like, yeah.
But it's also Lance is crawling across the floor towards the gun, but he keeps stopping to look back. Like, you're just gonna let me do this?
Like,
Yeah.
you're really-
Okay,
I'm gonna
let's
do
it. Yeah, I'm getting closer.
Because
he
what?
looks
Way to
he
get
looks really happy. He's like, I'm gonna get away with this.
Well, I
like,
think
how hard
that's-
did he
I
hit
think
you in
that's
the
the
head?
brain damage, yeah.
What
He can't not smile now.
What the Boz knew that Lance Henriksen didn't know was he has a bad guy teleport.
Yeah.
Because he's just right there grabbing his hair all of a sudden.
I think the other thing is what the director knew that they didn't is that they were this close to reaching the hour and a half mark
Yep.
to
Yep.
call this a movie. They just had to squeak over the finish line.
So now,
Draw it out. Just
Could you
a little
imagine
longer.
that if in the middle of filming, they're just like, all right, cut, we're at an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's it. Tank's full. Sorry.
I mean, that's probably happened, but no, this was more like a, we're not quite there. You're just
yeah.
Yeah.
So, he throws him down a flight of stairs, like Joe throws Chains down the stairs. Then Chains gets up, and Joe's got the gun in his face, like he's gonna do it. But he doesn't because he's a good guy. He's a cop. So
He's not.
like Chains is basically just passes out, and Joe just pushes him down the stairs. And he's like, woo, 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 like
Then
tumbling
breaks
end
his
over
neck.
end. Then the cops come in and grab him, and now
They don't handcuff him. They
Yeah.
just-
No.
Lance is like, hey, cop gun, I'm looking right at it. You're not looking at me, looking at your gun. And he's like, snatch. Anyone ever see Die Hard? And Lance is like, I saw Die Hard.
Yeah. we
And
all saw Die Hard.
fucking, what's his name? Reginald Vell Johnson's this dude.
But you know what? In Die Hard, most of the innocent people got out alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Die Hard, this also had some emotional weight behind it.
Die Hard was also written
Yeah.
and directed.
So, but my favorite part though is now, like Lance is like, "Hey, partner, you want to turn it up a notch?" And like this wave of, like, "Oh my God, I don't think I actually won today," washes over Joe Huff, and he just walks out of the Capitol. And the director's like, "Follow him and film him from the front till we run out of film." And he's just covered in blood. One of his pecs is hanging out his shirt, and he just walks out of there past a bunch of people.
Dead-eyed stare.
And
Yep.
a guitar's like chugga 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 chugga.
I also feel like,
Just thinking about his lizard.
yeah, well, I don't know if like they ran out of film or they cut it to try and keep like him looking as cool, quote unquote, as cool as possible. But I kind of imagine this just went till he like got a little ways down the street, found a bench, sat down, and then just started crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's, like, everyone is dead. He did nothing. He
Well, to be
accomplished
fair-
nothing.
Whoever he was banging at the beginning of a movie presumably is alive. So
Yeah.
you
So
just
he
go
doesn't give a
back.
shit?
It's
Yeah,
like,
I
yeah,
guess.
like,
Yeah.
well,
Fair
you know
enough.
what? Really, I'm just back at zero. It doesn't matter.
I'm probably suspended again.
But I spent those 3 weeks. I killed those 3 weeks. So just
You killed a lot more than the
Yeah,
3
let me
weeks.
get my- hey, I'm back.
I don't think you can just come back from a 3-week suspension after you got like the entire Capitol building
Yeah, that
killed.
was
Well,
the FBI. That was
Yeah, that was an FBI
different
operation.
group.
That
Yeah.
had nothing to
That's
do
their
with-
problem.
Oh,
you
well,
know?
yeah, I'm sure they'll just take it on the chin and not blame this on him at all.
He was undercover. They
Yeah.
wouldn't know.
Yeah, they don't know. John Cena. Can't-
Yeah.
So that's
Oh, fuck.
Busting with the Boz or whatever this movie is.
Stone cold.
Stone Cold.
Busting with the boss. Yeah, it's just another afternoon for
What
him.
does Rotten Scripts have to say about this one, Tony?
Okay, so on Whoops.
On
the wrong-
whoops.com.
on Whoops, this movie shouldn't have it. No, on RottenTomatoes.com, critics gave this an unsurprising score of 30%, or maybe a little surprising, but audience gave this a score of 63%.
Holy fuck.
It's still a
That's their
failure.
thoughts and opinions. Yeah, what about you and yours, Brick, since you seem to object to that?
I just literally, I did not have much of a reaction to this entire movie other than disgust until the very end when I was just like, okay. And that's literally what I said out loud at my computer monitor. I didn't like really any of it. The rabid biker gang reminded me too much of shit that I've heard in the news lately, and I didn't like any of it. I didn't enjoy any of it. I would give this an F.
Okay, so not recommending.
Oh yeah.
All right. John.
So yeah, this movie had me at the lizard, and you gotta eat that grub if you want to grow up. to
Reached
be a
out and
stud.
grabbed your
It
lizard.
grabbed me right by the lizard. and then just proceeded to take me on a wild ride that they got a little slow at parts, but I for the most part thoroughly enjoyed the nonsense that was soaking in through my eyes and ears. The only way this could have been better, I think, is if it was set in a sword and sorcery, and we were dealing with like a tribe of barbarians instead of a
Barbarian
biker gang.
horseman.
Yeah. I think somebody should remake this movie, but
I mean, we don't know that movie doesn't exist.
yeah, no, I'm sure it probably does.
I mean, I
But-
can almost guarantee now that he put it out in the world, somebody's,
Oh, brilliant.
working on, yeah.
But yeah, no, this was one where I was just like, as soon as that lizard showed up, I was like, okay, this is what we're dealing with. All right, I can just let go and enjoy the ride, and I did.
And then the Baps came out to reaffirm your interest in the.
Oh yeah, I mean, there were lizards, there was titties, there was guns.
Yeah, he
I'm all
literally,
in.
the lizard showed up. He said I was in. We saw the banana hammock. He said, "Oh, you lost some
Oh,
points."
You lost some points here, movie.
And then the girl, you said, "All right, we're like points earned back." And
We're
then
back, baby.
And then
the
the
titty
next scene
twister
was
was,
the
yeah, or not the,
The
titty
tit for
twister,
tat.
Tit
the
for
tit
tat.
for
sorry.
tat. And I was
You're
like,
like, that's it.
I was like, yes,
We're
sold.
back. Yeah, we're back. All right, so you recommend?
So yeah, I mean, watch it with friends. It's not a good movie. Let me get that. It's not a good movie. It's a bad movie. It's a very bad movie, but it's a fun bad movie, especially if you're watching it with other people.
All right, Joe.
So, I mean, it's an F. Like, I was able to shut my brain off and have fun with it for what it was. But for a schlocky, like, big tough guy beating up them biker gangs, a bunch of silly shit's gonna happen that, don't take it too seriously. There's just so much better you can do. And like, there wasn't really anything in this movie. I was like, that's a pretty cool explosion, but it's not like, it wasn't anything special or like, I've seen titties in a movie enough. I've never seen that lizard before. That was the only thing the movie did that I think I had never seen. Maybe the pair of underwear that the Boz was wearing.
Which you didn't want to see.
I mean, he can do whatever he wants. He's the Boz. But either way, like, there's nothing good in this movie. It's fun, but like, it's not fun that I would seek out. Like, it doesn't have the fun of like watching a schlockfest like Commando or something like that, or like Conan or something along those lines, where you're not taking this seriously, but you can still have a good movie that you're not taking seriously. And it does kind of just, the whole time you're thinking you're like, this guy is not helping at all, and it would have been better if he just never showed up.
Like the mob pretty much won.
Yeah.
They lost the fewest number of people and were never really implicated.
Well, they lost all their crank.
Yeah, they lost a few $1 million worth of drugs.
I'll tell you who lost: the owner of that gas station.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
So yeah,
Presumably the clerk that was in the gas.
yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's harmless, but it doesn't do enough for me. Like, if it's on, you can do worse than this. Watch it, but I would never like try to watch this. So in that regard, I'm not going to recommend it. But you can do way worse. For a movie with like Lance Henriksen as a generic bad guy, it's definitely not the worst one of those I've ever seen. I'll watch this any day over Hard Target and Christopher Lambert Van Damme, whatever the protagonist of that movie was. Had Wilford Brimley in it too. Fuck that film. Slapped the shit out of a snake.
All right, Rob.
This movie sucks so bad. But it is a good like watch with friends like once. So on that grounds, I'm gonna give it a light recommend. Because it is one of those movies that tries to take itself so seriously that it is just not serious at all. And just ends up being just silly as shit. So for that reason, light recommend. Watch it one time. You probably won't need to watch it twice. But yeah, there you go.
Wow, I'm kind of surprised how this went, but yeah, because I guess I'm have a foot in both camps because, like, yeah, this movie's absolutely an F, but I totally recommend it because it is so stupid. It is so bad. It's good movie. The problem it does have slow parts, which is really bad for a movie that's only like an hour and a half long.
And that's kind of the
But yeah, it's so dumb, like just everything exploding and just like the gratuitous nudity from and then like Nazi flags and stuff. It's just so stupid. But I enjoy the hell out of it because it made me laugh. And I think, definitely in a group, even on your own, you might enjoy it. I mean, yeah, sure. If you want like a good action movie, Commando first for sure. But like, you know, if you ever get tired and you just want goofy nonsense and explosions and seeing a guy trying to be cool but totally not, I think this is
Dummies being thrown out of helicopters and exploded.
So I think
That's a recommend.
it's on the fence.
That's a 3 to 5.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 out of 5.
Well, yeah, because that's why I'm like, because we got a light recommend, 2 not recommend,
still a recommend.
It
Yeah,
is still a recommend,
I
so yeah, okay.
I don't recommend it, but it's harmless. I think Brick was the only one that hated it.
Yeah, I did not like
So
it.
it's 3 versus 2.
It's-
so
For me, it was actually a toss-up between this or Osmosis Jones. I don't know which one I would
Wow,
rather see.
what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, again, just the fact that he totally lost and got all these people killed.
Oh, yeah.
That's hilarious to me.
There are no winners in this movie.
Yeah, he's an absolute failure as a hero.
even the people watching the movie did not win.
Yeah, it's like, all right, we have a plan. Let's get somebody to fuck it up.
The movie bombed. Like no one involved in the movie won in any way,
Right.
except for John. John had a great time.
Lizards, titties.
That's all that matters, man. Like, come on. That's all that matters. So, time to roll the dice of fortune. Oh, sorry.
D20 of Fate. I haven't done the D20 of Fate song in a while.
Whose turn?
It's Rob's.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
D20 of Fate.
Look,
that was
Yeah,
Joe's.
I rolled this.
Yeah,
Right. Which one should I roll, boyos? What do you think?
D20 of Fate. The one that's not gonna roll a 1 or 20. I don't know. Don't go heavy
I forget.
today.
What happens if he rolls a 1?
Transformers.
Kind of like this movie. Everybody loses.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
If he rolls a 20, same thing.
Yeah. All right.
20 of Fate.
Oh, it's a 14.
Oh no.
Oh God. Oh God. 14 is Meteor Man.
Oh.
The Robert Townsend joint. Remember him when he had a show and made a movie that
I just
ended
remember
his career basically?
that this movie's not good. That's all.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much, everybody. If you enjoyed, please make sure you subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your loved ones.
Tell your lizard.
Go wreak havoc on a biker gang. Yeah. So join us next time for Meteor Man. It'll be great. We'll see you all then. Bye.
Adios.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Hello.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed the episode, please subscribe, and if possible, leave a review. If you have questions, comments, or would like to sponsor an episode, email us at the4ampodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to support the show, you can buy a t-shirt, hoodie, and more at Teespring. Or gain access to exclusive content by becoming a patron at patreon.com/4ampodcast. Thanks again for listening. See you next time.